Today on 97.5 The Hound, it's a special presentation of high school football as the St. Mary's Flying Dutchmen meet the Brockway Rovers in the District 9 championship game. What an amazing ride it has been all around. And now the first championship trophy of the postseason will be handed out today. The underlying theme of the playoffs in District 9 this year is simply rematch. This one falls in that category. It was August 29th, week 2 of the season, when the Rovers hung on to take down the Dutch in Brockway. A late attempt to tie the game fell short, and the Rovers came away with a 20-13 win. That was a long time ago in football terms. Both teams are different representations of the teams we saw in week 1, and the meaning of the game is much, much bigger. The Rovers have been playing some tough football of late. With losses in 2 of their last 3 games, the Rovers have had tough sledding. They've lost to 2 of the powers in D9 in Karnes City and Port Allegany. Sandwiched in between was a come-from-behind win over Ridgeway that was one of the best games of the year. For the Dutch, they went through the gauntlet of D9 big school powers in the middle of the season and came out 2-6. Wins the last 2 weeks have gotten the Dutch into the game today. Hardware awaits for both schools. 1 trophy is silver, 1 gold. The District 9 AAA Championship is next on The Hound. Now let's go live to E.J. Mansell Stadium in DuBois for the pregame show, brought to you by Lindbergh Furniture and Mattress and the Lindbergh Furniture Sleep Center. Here's Nate Stice and J.J. Michaels.
Pleasant good afternoon to you wherever you may be today. Welcome to E.J. Mansell Stadium in DuBois as we bring you coverage of the District 9 3A Championship game. I am J.J. Michaels, and it is a pleasure to be joined on the broadcast today by a guy who you've been along with us all year. I haven't got a chance to work with you yet, buddy. Nate Stice, welcome in, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, excellent. So good to be with you here, JJ. First call with you here. Hopefully the first of many for sure.
Yeah, this is, well, first of all, today, considering how rough last night was weather-wise, for everybody in the region. Today's not too bad. We've got some sunshine out. There's a little bit of a breeze, but not like the wind we saw last night around the region.
Yeah, absolutely. The wind was kind of affecting things power-wise in terms of, down in Red Bank Valley last night, down in New Bethlehem. We kind of thought we were going to have a delay, but it started right on time. And, Mark and I were on the call for B94, and then it got rolling. But you're definitely right. Not a lot of wind. Warmer down on the field because of the turf, so, should be, pretty smooth sailing weather-wise. We hope anyway.
Yeah, and down on the field, I was down there earlier moving around, and, boy, this turf is nice here in DuBois. They do a great job. They've done a whole lot of renovations to this place, and this stadium looks real nice. It's still one of the great places to come to a football game. We know it's one of the best to broadcast, and they've got us all nice and cozy in here in the studio, or in our studio, our mobile studio here. But this is a weekend of rematches in the playoffs. Last night, all 3 1A quarterfinals were rematches of games earlier this year. This is kind of a double shot of a rematch. Earlier this year, Brockway wins 20-13, and Brockway beat them last year for the district championship in that game.
Absolutely, yeah. These are familiar opponents. Even the coaches are quite familiar with each other as well. I was talking to you kind of pregame here, and Coach Dworick and Coach Heigl are both Clarion University Golden Eagle football alumni, and actually Coach Dworick coached Jake Heigl a little bit in college when he was playing. So, this is kind of the student meets master matchup here, if you will. So it should be a heck of a ball game. 2 very accomplished coaches, 2 District 9 championship coaches. Dworick looking for his first year in St. Mary's, did win some in Brookville, but Coach Heigl got his first as a head coach last year in that district championship game held in Clearfield. So Clifford County here again, but different field here at Mansell Stadium.
It's amazing when you hear stories like that. It's a small world around here, isn't it?
Because
when you look at guys like that who've coached and been a part of each other's lives for years, it's weird to turn that switch on for 2.5, 3 hours on game day to say, okay, you're my enemy for this now when obviously these guys know each other quite well.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say it's frenemy, because they're
Frenemy,
obviously
that's a great term.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they're friendly with each other. They, talking to both of them going into this ball game, they have nothing but respect for one another. Coach Heigl is one of the younger coaches around. He graduated high school. I played against Coach Jake Heigl, to kind of put some color on it. He's a young guy, early 30s. Coach Dworak has been doing this for quite a while. He's a veteran coach, 30 plus years as a coach, as an assistant, and then a head coach. Been 20 plus years between Brookville here and St. Mary's. But yeah, these are guys that have nothing but respect for each other and nothing but respect for each other's teams. Two really talented teams here, JJ. It's going to be awesome to call this game.
It sure is, and it's going to be a great afternoon for it here. And you are listening to the pregame show here on the Hound and online at houndcountry.com. Don't forget we're streaming as well on YouTube. There is a link posted on our Facebook page that you can follow and be a part of the broadcast. And while we're thanking people, we do want to thank Epic Heating and Cooling of Brockway, because they have sponsored the video feeds for all of our broadcasts this weekend, and they are great. Man, Matt, one of the great guys who helps us with our stuff at the station when we've got an issue. It's amazing how quickly he gets it back running. But thanks to everybody at Epic Heating and Cooling in Brockway for that. Our pregame show is brought to you by Lindbergh Furniture and Mattress of Johnsonburg and Brookville and the Lindbergh Furniture Sleep Center in historic downtown Johnsonburg. If you're looking for a great deal on new furniture, new bedding, shop Lindbergh. They're the best around. Follow them on Facebook, and remember, you can buy it today. Get it today at Lindbergh Furniture. And our title sponsor all season long, St. Mary's Insurance Agency and affiliates, including the Smith Keats Agency in Johnsonburg, Borst Insurance in Sheffield and Ridgeway, and the Emporium Agency in Emporium. For more, log on to their website at stmariesagency.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk more about this game, recap some of the action from last night, the District 9 3A Championship. St. Mary's and Brockway coming up on the Hound.
When it comes to protecting your home, your car, your family, or your business, why trust someone miles away when the best is right here in Elk County? St. Mary's Insurance Agency, along with Borst Insurance in Ridgeway and the Smith Keats Agency in Johnsonburg, have been named Elk County's best insurance agency 5 years running. We're not just in the community, we're proud to be part of it. Stop by one of our offices, give us a call, or visit us online at stmariesagency.com.
Lindbergh Furniture, that's the store.
Where you'll find bargains galore.
Bob and Bonnie will save you cash.
And deliver your furniture in a flash.
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh Furniture wants to congratulate the teams playing in tonight's game. Congratulations on all you've achieved this year. They're proud of you and your success. You're a fine example of our area youth.
Heating and cooling done right, guaranteed. Epic Heating and Cooling, all day or night when you need. Epic Heating and Cooling. Epic. Every time we show up for you. Epic. Making your day feel epic, like a superhero. Epic. Heating and cooling experts, tried, trusted, and true. Epic. Every install feels epic. When the time comes, you'll know. You know you've got our trusted team for the golden heat. Epic Heating and Cooling, all day or night when you need. Epic Heating and cooling done right, guaranteed. Epic Heating and Cooling.
Hey, yo, listen up, fam. The Sons of Little Italy in Elk County is serving the most authentic pizza and heroes around. It's like it's straight from Italy in New York, right to your plate. Are you craving that mafia-grade taste? Well, this is the place for you. So get this, they've got differing hours each day. If you want to find out when they're open, do me a favor. Get onto their Facebook page, like them, and then take a peek. Now, they're closed on Sundays and Mondays because, hey, even gangsters need a little breather from what I hear. So, get your hands on the Take and Bake DiCerbo and Enzo pies, their fresh bread, heroes, and more. more. You can order now. Go online at thesonsoflittleitaly.com. That's thesonsoflittleitaly.com. Call them up, 814-773-3199. Now listen, don't wait, Capos. This ain't no chain joint. It's the real deal. Storm in and taste the legacy today. The Sons of Little Italy, 25 Luray Drive in Ridgeway. Need a loan? Go to Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. I'll bet you've heard that a few hundred times, but have you actually investigated it? They have a loan for your life. Whether it's an auto loan for a new or used vehicle, a loan for your college student, a home loan, a loan to get a boat, RV, ATV, or snowmobile, or a loan to take that long overdue vacation you need. I think you get the idea. They give out a lot of loans. Not only that, but the rates on those loans are even sweeter. Do you live, work, worship, or attend school in Elk, Cameron, McKean, or Warren County? If so, then you qualify for membership at Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. See how simple it can be. Visit one of their 7 locations in the area or log on to mlfcu.net. Best of luck to all the athletes competing today from Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union, where it certainly is good to be a member.
Welcome back to E.J. Mansell Stadium here in DuBois. J.J. Michaels and Nate Stice. Kickoff getting close here. The District 9 3A Championship. DuBois, the host. What a great setting for the Brockway Rovers and the St. Mary's Flying Dutchmen. You know, Nate, you talked about in the first part there, these two schools are familiar with one another. It was last year that Brockway stepped up into AAA for at least a couple years, and while these two teams met last year for the district title, and it was the Rovers with a 41-27 win in that game. Big game for Aiden Patton. He threw for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. Caleb Doherty, who is their star receiver, caught 4 passes for 140 yards, big plays. But it wasn't like the Dutch were completely out of it. You know, they had a great game. Andrew Field ran for 112 yards, and it was, Brody Whaler had a decent day passing the football as well. So, you look back at that game, there's a lot of players that remember that one from last year, and there's a lot, of course, that remember a 20-13 game that you and Mark did earlier this year, and, that came down to the wire.
Absolutely. Yeah, what's crazy about it is all the guys that you mentioned, they're still in this football game here today.
That's crazy,
So it's pretty much everybody, a lot of these players are back for both teams. And, yeah, like you said, the 20-13 matchup in Brockway was a heck of a football game. It was kind of the tale of two halves. Lots of scoring in the first half and then actually no scoring in the second half. 20-13, Brockway won that one. But, yeah, kind of to put some color on this, it was a really quick start from Brockway, and that looked like they could potentially take it and just run with it. But then St. Mary's battled back, and they took the lead there for a little bit, and then Brockway scored 1 before the half, the end of the first half, and then that was the end of the scoring. It was pretty much a stalemate from there on out, JJ. In the second half, there was nothing to be had really. The game was pretty much played between the 20-yard lines. At that point, nobody could really do a whole heck of a lot. So we'll see what something's got to give. Nobody's scored. These two teams haven't scored against each other the last 2 quarters. So but like you said, a lot of talent coming back. So
You know what's interesting, Nate, is I look at that game. It's kind of a microcosm of the season for both these teams. Brockway in spurts has had big plays. St. Mary's, it's just been a weird season because there's been a couple games where they've gotten pasted pretty good, and then they are the only team that has given Port Allegheny any kind of a game this year. You look at that, and it's like, okay, we're capable. And I think that was the point of the season where the Dutch really understood, hey, we can play with anybody. It doesn't matter. And, from that point on, they've really gave one heck of an effort. They played Central Clarion pretty tough. They've had 2 wins in a row the last couple of weeks. So, they are certainly capable of coming in here today and winning this football game. And you got to believe that they believe.
No doubt. They're rolling. They won 2 straight. They looked really good against Montauk and Bradford. But, yeah, they played a stretch in their schedule. They played 4 of the best teams in the entire state of Pennsylvania.
That was the gauntlet, man.
In a row. They played DuBois, Port Allegheny, Central Clarion, and Punxsutawney, all state ranked. Some of those teams are ranked number 1 as well. And then you got to also say they played Carson City first game, and they're ranked number 1 in Class 2A at least a few weeks ago. So they've played a heck of a tough schedule. They're very, very tested, as is Brockway. Brockway has played a very tough schedule themselves. But yeah, St. Mary's coming in, they're rolling. Brockway had a tough battle last week against Port Allegheny. They kind of had some mistakes.
They were in that game.
They were in that game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. They had some mistakes, but, that was the Region 2 championship game. They gave Port Allegheny a pretty good test, but Port Allegheny is ultimately a little bit too much. But that's a good tune-up game for this one. No doubt.
And I think so. And, Brockway, Rick and I did the game a couple of weeks back when they played in Ridgeway. That was the best game of the year that I've seen by far because – Brockway was down by 10 in that game. Ridgeway had a 10-point lead, 17-7. And then the big plays. I mean, that's the thing with Brockway is that if you let them get those big splash plays, the home run plays, it's going to be a rough night for you, or day, as it would be today. But Aiden Patton, really talented quarterback. And bad news, District 9, he's back next year again. He's just a junior. That kid can make it happen. He throws a great deep ball, and he's got some kids, most notably Caleb Doherty, who can score from anywhere on the field at any time.
Absolutely. Aiden Patton nearing 2,000 yards passing for the season. Doherty, nearing 700 yards receiving. These are some players, that can really go for Brockway, and they can make sure that you're never out of it. And like they were against Ridgeway, they were down, but they were never out. And there's been a couple other games this year where they were down, but they were never out. So it's never over till the last whistle. They're a team that knows how to play from all sorts of situations, from ahead and from behind. They've won a lot of close ones this year, and that's what good teams do. They win close games.
And you know what the cool thing is too? You can talk about all that. We can talk about last year's game. We can talk about week 2. It means absolutely zilch here in about 10 minutes and 37 seconds that's on the scoreboard here, because it's what you do today is what's going to win you or lose you a district championship game. And that's going to be neat to see. You're listening to the pregame show brought to you by Lindbergh Furniture and Mattress and Lindbergh Furniture's Sleep Center. J.J. Michaels and Nate Stice along. Last night around the district, it was not a good night as far as competitive games. And we look at, the 1A quarterfinals last night. We'll start with the game that you guys did down there, despite all the delays and stuff that was there. It was kind of a repeat of what we saw week 1. Rick and I were down there. Red Bank got off to a good start. Ridgeway made a game of it, and Red Bank put it away late. Tough night for the Elkers.
Yeah, they just couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop Braylon Wagner. Braylon Wagner was just having a heck of a night running the ball and made some deep shots and connected with receivers. He's just a heck of a playmaker, and he was the difference. Ridgeway's defense, really got him to that point, willed them to a lot of victories. They just didn't have a good night. They could not contain. They couldn't contain Wagner in the pocket and with those runs and extending the play. And that was a huge part that Coach Heidel talked to me about and said we have to do that. And unfortunately, it was a little bit. It was just Wagner's night and Red Bank Valley's night, and they're moving on.
Well, and, the Bulldogs are playing much better. They take on Union AC Valley next week in the semifinals. They were winners over Cameron County last night. Union AC Valley very heavily on the run this year. They've got 2,000-yard rushers, Skabinski, Gallagher. I'm intrigued to see how that game goes next week. That should be interesting.
Absolutely. Very senior-laden team. I think they have 17 seniors for Union AC Valley. This is the best team that they have had in terms of record, anyways, in this co-op era between the two schools. They've had a co-op for a decade now, 9-1 finish. They're only blemished to Port Allegheny. They're going to be a really good, they're a pretty solid team. They've won a lot of gutsy games, and they're, it's because they know how to, they've been through the ringer. They have a lot of seniors that have played a lot of football.
Well, and I bring this up because he's a friend of both you and mine, Mr. Andrew Kiefer. His dad, Dustin, of course, works with the EYT folks. And that's nice to see that. I saw that at the beginning of the year, and I texted Dustin immediately. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, yeah, I'm old. And then the game that we did last night, Mike Barr and I up in Kane, as the Wolves, tough night for them. Keystone all over Kane, 56-7, and it was the same old when it came to the big plays. Tom Corsetti, I don't know that there's a more complete athlete in District 9, with all due respect to Aiden Bliss at Port Allegheny, who in his own right as a running back is that way. But as a quarterback, I don't know that there's anybody more complete than him. That kid is something, and he lit it up last night again.
Yeah, kind of similar to Braylon Wagner from Red Bank Valley. You know, he kind of just willed his team to victory, and those guys followed. Really, really solid Keystone team, better than their record indicates. You know, they lost a lot of games, you know, close games at the end. You know, they lost a tough one in Ridgeway. They lost a tough one against Brockway on a 2-point conversion. So they were a tested team, and they went up to Kane, really tough environment, and took care of business. You know, that's a very impressive win. I think that puts a lot of people on notice that, hey, you know, despite our record, we're more capable than 5-5.
Well, they get the Gators next week at a site and time to be determined, and that'll be neat to see. We are close to kickoff here. St. Mary's and Brockway, the District 9 3A Championship is next. You are listening to the pregame show brought to you by Lindbergh Furniture and Mattress of Johnsonburg and Brookville and the Lindbergh Furniture Sleep Center. And our broadcast this year brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance. Kickoff is next.
Do you suffer from uncomfortable varicose veins? Are your legs restless, swollen, or sore? Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway, along with experienced vascular surgeon and St. Mary's native, Dr. Philip Georgievich, will be offering a free vein screening on Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Stop struggling with sore and swollen varicose veins. We will see you Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 at Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway. No appointment necessary.
When you want a hometown feel with plenty of options, you choose Spitzer Auto World St. Mary's, where the service is fun, fast, easy, and now backed by the Spitzer Shield. When you choose us, you choose a variety of brand new vehicles across 3 separate lots. When you choose us, you choose to know everything we've done to make our pre-owned vehicles second to none. A rigorous inspection process performed by factory-trained technicians and professional detail inside and out. Visit us along the $1 Million Highway today for all of your Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford needs. Spitzer Auto World St. Mary's. Our world revolves around
Top
you.
of the line builders, the area's leader in quality roofing projects, now add seamless gutter installation to our services. At Top of the line builders, our staff is trained to offer professional installation. For more information and a no obligation quote on seamless gutters, call Nick Cherry at 814-965-5785. We offer free estimates and are fully insured. Top of the line builders. Get your project done right the first time.
Wouldn't it be great if you could have your insurances for auto, home, business, farm, life, and retirement in just one agency? That's what Pacelli Insurance is for. They can help protect what is important for you and your family's future. Visit Pacelli Insurance in St. Mary's or call them at 814-781-3888. Pacelli Insurance, your preferred local independent insurance agency. Pacelli Insurance, where we protect your world.
Have you been looking for a career in the powdered metal industry? Medco Industries is now hiring. Medco Industries on Brussels Street in St. Mary's is a locally owned company offering long-term steady careers or part-time work with advancement opportunities and great benefits. Operations are regular 8-hour shifts with most weekends off. Medco's machining facility, Pro Process LLC, offers CNC operator and setup positions in a climate-controlled facility. Apply online at medcopm.com. Medco Industries, locally owned and operated in St. Mary's for over 40 years.
That means we have arrived at kickoff. Welcome back to E.J. Mansell Stadium in DuBois. It is the District 9 3A Football Championship. J.J. Michaels, Nate Stice, online at houndcountry.com, the Hound app, and, of course, streaming on YouTube. And if you're looking to watch this game, you can do so just by clicking up on our Facebook page. There's a link to it there, or just search out Laurel Media Sports on YouTube. That is our page there. Top of the hour at WDDH St. Mary's on the radio, 97.5 The Hound, and Nate Stice, kickoff coming here, and this ought to be something special. You know, we've done all the talking and everything we mentioned a minute ago. Now it's time to get it on, and I think both of the teams are tired of the prep, and it's ready to roll time.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you have to get up, if there's anybody that really needs to get you up for this game, you should
something's wrong.
Something's definitely wrong. This is a chance for St. Mary's to avenge these two losses in a row last year again in the district championship game, then earlier this year. But for Brockway, this is them to go back to back for the first time since 2002, 2003. Brockway Rovers. So obviously there's narratives that each team have coming into this game. Should be a heck of a ball game.
And the winner of this one, by the way, moves on, I believe, to the sub-regional round. Site and time to be determined. And St. Mary's has won the toss. They will defer. So it'll be Brockway to receive to begin today's game. And they will be wearing their home blacks with the red numerals and white trim. And St. Mary's, I think their jerseys, those are one of the hottest things in District 9, man. I love their jerseys. Really nice looking, clean white ones there. Well done.
Yeah, and the nice thing is they're going to stay clean all game with the turf, and some of those games with all the mud and stuff, they don't. But I totally agree with that sentiment. They look sharp, no question.
And see, back when I played, there wasn't much in the way of turf, and my mom hated it. She always said it. "Why do you have to get so much?" Mom, I'm a lineman. I'm supposed to be dirty.
It's my
mud
job.
Caked up. It's my job.
Do the dirty work,
That's right.
We make a football team go. I think we're biased. We have two former linemen here in the booth tonight, folks. And we make the teams go, and we have we have a little bit of bias on that end, no doubt.
So Mason Nicholas will tee it up for the Dutch, and he will boot it away. Back deep for Brockway will be Carter Himes and Kyle Kennedy. And Kyle Kennedy, one of the kids that had a huge game against Ridgeway a couple of weeks ago, a couple of big catches. And Carter Himes, just an all-around great athlete. The kid's a great baseball player as well. So
yeah, he can really go, no question about it. Just a well-rounded athlete here that's likely going to receive this kick off the foot of Nicholas.
So here we go. St. Mary's will move from right to left here in this first quarter, and the D9 3A championship is underway, and it'll be down to the 4-yard line. That'll be Kennedy on the return, back over the 10, the 15, the 20, now scooting up over the 25, and there's a pile there. Ball loose. St. Mary's says they have it, and they do. What a big break on the opening kickoff.
Wow, short field opportunity here for the Dutch. That's a big play to set the tone, no question about it. Great coverage on that kick. Forced it out, and now they're in business with a short field. They really got to cash in here early.
And they start at the 25-yard line.
Brody Whaler takes his normal spot here under center. Andrew Field in the backfield with Bruno Steger as well.
And they will go with Field on first down, left side, and he falls forward for a couple of yards. And when it's all said and done, they're going to give him the 20-yard line, and that'll be a gain of about 5 on that first down.
That's a really solid first down play. You want to play out in front of those sticks. You get those chunk yardage right off the bat to force yourself out of those third and long and even fourth and long situations here in this short field opportunity near the red zone.
St. Mary's with a prime opportunity here at the beginning of this one. Field Whaler under center, and they go handoff right. That's to Bruno Steger, the freshman. And Steger gets a couple. He'll get down to about the 18-yard line.
I feel like every week I say Bruno Steger just continues to get better. You kind of forget that he's just a freshman. His improvement this year has been just incredible to watch, and he continues to get more totes as the season goes on.
Well, and that bodes well, Nate, for the coming years for this team.
Absolutely, yeah. Quite a few seniors, with Field and Cook, and Steger is going to be somebody that's going to get a lot of carries here, probably for the next 3 years. He's already getting some now.
Whaler puts a man in motion, and they go Field straight ahead, and Field going to have the first down inside the 15, down to about the 12 or 11-yard line is where that looks to be, 12.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And then they can still pick up another first down by staying, just outside the 10-yard line there. So have that opportunity to get not just a touchdown, but another first down before, they potentially punch it in. But St. Mary's already in the red zone here in the early going.
And that is a first down, gain of 6, 1st and 10 at the Brockway 12-yard line. Whaler under center. Puts a man in motion. That's Gilmore, and they go Field straight ahead, and right away he's knocked down as John Winnings on that tackle. He gets down to the 10-yard line, gain of 2.
Yeah, and that's going to be key. St. Mary's blocking those big fellas up front for Brockway. They got some guys who are experienced and just really, really tough guys. Ben Yale's a guy that's been starting since a freshman.
He's a monster.
He is an absolute monster out there, already an All-State guy. I believe he's 3-time All-State, which is quite impressive, and he's certainly a heck of a ball player, one of their keys to block if you're the St. Mary's offensive line today.
It is 2nd down and 8. Man in motion, that is Frankie Smith, and they ride Field into the middle again, and Field quickly hit, not a whole lot there, and he'll get down, they'll give him a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 6 here at the 8-yard line.
This is a situation where St. Mary's has grown so much throughout the year. They weren't really particularly pass protecting well and passing the ball well overall, but now they have a more diverse, opportunity here, especially in recent weeks. The passing game has really emerged. We'll see what they call here on 3rd down.
And it's Field again, straight ahead, and Field breaks the tackle. Touchdown, St. Mary's.
Great start for Andrew Field. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and he continues with a fine season that he's having. Been their bell cow all year, and he finishes what was a short drive, but definitely an impactful one, no doubt.
8-yard touchdown run. The Spitzer scoring play brought to you by Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's. Their world revolves around you. And the Dutch with the fumble recovery on the kickoff. Now we'll get the extra point attempt here by Mason Nicholas. And a penalty flag on that play. And that, let's see, that is going to be procedure. It'll be a 5-yard penalty there.
Still going to go with the Nicholas PAT attempt despite being backed up 5 yards. Nicholas, a very capable kicker, pretty good percentage on extra points this season.
Nice snap down. The kick is up, and it is wide to the right. No good. So it remains 6-0. St. Mary's High School football on the Hound is brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
When is the last time you really felt like your body was functioning properly? If you can't remember, then it's time for you to call Rowley Family Chiropractic of St. Mary's. They've been serving the community for 25 years. Their mission is to improve your overall quality of life by allowing your nervous system to work at its fullest potential. Want to know more? Log on RowleyFamilyChiropractic.com or call 814-834-1045. Rowley Family Chiropractic, improving health one spine at a time. Zook Motors in Kane is a proud supporter of the area's high school sports teams. They know what it means to be part of a community. Family owned and operated, they've been serving the area for almost 100 years. That's why you can trust Zooks to find you the right vehicle for your needs and price range. Best of luck to the players and coaches in today's matchup from everyone on the team at Zook Motors, your area Ford dealer just west of Kane on Route 6.
6-0 as the Dutch cash in on a turnover. Now the ensuing kickoff will come down to the 9-yard line, and that is Kennedy on the return, and Kennedy's got a nice one out over the 25, close to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Rovers will start. But Nate, if you draw this up, if you're St. Mary's and Coach Dworick and his staff, we got the coaches next to us. You probably heard in the background the joy. That's a big start.
Yeah, and that's something they struggled with in the early going, and they've certainly got better at in recent weeks. The slow starts to begin, but these last, 3 ball games now, they have really gotten off to a quick start, and that's been huge, playing from ahead instead of playing from behind.
So first down from the 25-yard line here. And it's Patton straight ahead, and Patton will get up over the 35 to the 36.
I think we're going to see a heavy dose of that. A lot of quarterback keeper. He kind of is their leading runner as much as he is obviously their leading passer. A very, very capable athlete that just can do it all out there.
Gain of 6 for Patton. Second down and about 4 from the 31-yard line. Patton's back to throw now. Has plenty of time. Zips it out. Got a man. That's Doherty at the 40. Makes a move. Scoots for the first down and gets out of bounds.
Some up-tempo for Brockway per usual. Heavy dose of that. Obviously a heavy dose of Doherty catching the ball from Patton this season. So they're kind of, moving the ball here pretty quickly, not wasting any time.
Gain of 15 on the play for Doherty. Now they give it straight ahead, and that is Winnings Matthew on the carry. Oh, no, check that. It's Colin Weir on the carry. And Colin will get up to the into St. Mary's territory at the 48-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 4, 5, 6 on that play.
Brockway continue with the no huddle. St. Mary's defense, you try to keep them fresh, but it's hard with a no huddle offense that Brockway runs.
Swing pass out there, it's caught, and it'll be a first down out of bounds. And that pass caught by, who was that on the reception? That was number 6, Carter Himes.
Carter Himes, the senior, 5'11", 205. Like we said pregame, just a well-rounded athlete. Brockway quick to the line, but then make sure that they're set.
Yep, and a gain of 7 on that play.
Patton back
Here's
to pass.
Patton, deep downfield, and it's incomplete. Boy, good defensive play back there by Chase. Was that Herd? No, that wasn't Herzing, was it?
That was Stager on the coverage.
Stager on the coverage, yeah. And boy, was that.
Again, shows the trust that they have in Stager on both
Yes,
sides
indeed.
of the ball. Yeah, just a freshman, but he's made plays all year long on both sides of the ball, forcing turnovers, scoring some touchdowns, especially in recent weeks offensively. A lot of trust to put him in the safety position as just a freshman, but he's definitely capable.
There's a little screen pass. Pass is caught out in the flat, and good job pursuing that by Frankie Smith. He blew that play up. Colton Kale on the reception.
Yeah, it's just great open field tackling right there by Frankie Smith. One of their stud corners, stud coverage guys, and showed that he, can make a big hit there as well and just limit that yards after the catch. So 3rd and long now, 3rd and 10 ensuing on this Brockway play.
Gain of nothing. 3rd down and 10. It'll be Patton straight ahead, and he's got some room. He maneuvers around. He's going to be down at about the 32-yard line. About a yard short of that first down.
Yeah, pretty good play there on 3rd down. Sets up 4th and favorable for the Rovers. Pretty good drive going along, just kind of chunking their way down the field.
6-0 Dutch, 5:50 to go first quarter here in Du Bois. The District 9 3A championship, and a big play here. St. Mary's got a big turnover to start the game on the kickoff, and now they're looking. Here comes a tush push.
Yeah, tight formation here under center Patton.
Nope, they give it off to Winnings, and Winnings tripped up. Oh, was short, but his second effort is going to get that first down.
Yeah, way to keep those legs churning. St. Mary's had him stop, but Winnings just a little bit too tough, kept those legs churning, and they move the sticks once again.
Down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 3. And a first down. Now from the line, they do that wristband thing. They check it up. And now we're going to have a stoppage here. I'll reset the play clock. Okay.
Move the ball, and then reset the play clock as well. And a pistol formation, 2 out wide and 2 on the near side as well.
And here's Patton to throw. Has time, going to flip it down the side here. He's got a man, Kale, with a great catch inside the 5. Whoa, my.
Wow, what a play. What a throw by Patton. Great catch by Kale. Right down in the red zone now, continuing what's been a strong drive. St. Mary's, this is the time where you have to really, dig deep and say, hey, we've given up a lot of yardage, but the points matter more than that.
26 yards to Kale. And it's first and goal, Brockway at the 3-yard line. What a catch that was by Kale.
Another tight formation here for Brockway. 3 in the backfield.
And they go handoff right and touchdown for Carter Himes. Off the right side. And it is a Spitzer scoring play brought to you by Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's. And then a penalty flag comes in at the end there.
Yeah, late flag there. That went about 100 feet in the air, and then it came down. So 6-6 tie here. We'll see what these officials call after the play was over. Pretty good answer by Brockway. That was a very strong drive.
Big drive.
3rd and 10, St. Mary's had him. Patton 9-yard rush to set up 4th and short. Then they pick up that first down, and then obviously big play.
That was a 10-play drive.
Yeah.
And it was just a hair under 4 minutes, about 3 minutes, 58 seconds. Well, they'll sort this penalty thing out here. For the moment, the game is tied at 6. And here comes the official to give us an explanation. Okay. Okay, they're going to nail Brockway for taunting after that. And boy, to be very frank, that's a dumb penalty because now you're moving it back to where there's a field goal attempt and you just don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, that's huge. You had the opportunity to take the lead. Now it's a little bit tougher after that 15-yard penalty. Setting up more like an NFL-style PAT with the length.
Doherty puts the boot into it, and it is good. He nails it. So that doesn't affect him, and Brockway takes the lead, 7-6 with 4:50 to go in the first quarter. High school football on the Hound is brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
For nearly 40 years, one name in the area stands out when it comes to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and more.
Hi, this is Shirley from Newell's Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning. We have been providing plumbing and HVAC services in St. Mary's since 1984. Our customers are our #1 priority, and we are quick to answer or return calls, especially in emergency situations. From initial estimates through the project completion, we will work with you to ensure you're 100% satisfied. Our team of technicians has a combined 88 years of experience, so we have knowledge on our side for any job. We are professional, fair, family-friendly, and work with you to understand your needs and goals. From residential to light commercial, we can ensure your plumbing and HVAC systems are running at peak performance.
For all your plumbing and heating needs, put your trust in us. Newell's Plumbing and Heating's Trout Run Road, St. Mary's.
Well, after the opening kickoff turnover and the St. Mary's touchdown, Brockway answers with a 10-play drive that covers 75 yards, and they lead it 7-6. The kickoff is going to go out of bounds on the far side over there as it trickles out. And the Dutch will get the option here, and usually teams elect just to take it at the 35-yard line. But, Nate, a nice response there by Brockway.
Absolutely. Yeah, they, like I said a little bit, they got in a 3rd and 10 situation. Patton got 9 yards on a rush. Then they converted on 4th down, and then they let one deep on a first down chance, and they connected on it and finished with just a short little touchdown run there. But yeah, very, very solid response for Brockway, despite, giving one away in the short field to St. Mary's to start it.
So first down from the 35-yard line. The Dutch will employ 3 receivers to the left here as they move from the right hash mark. Brody Whaler from the shotgun now on first down, and he's going to keep it himself, and he dives forward and get back to the line, maybe a yard progress, and that'll be it.
Yeah, pretty good pursuit by Brockway, but Whaler just kind of lost his footing there on that keeper. Picked up maybe a yard at best, kind of inched that thing forward. Second and long ensuing here for the Dutch offense.
Andrew Field, 5 carries, 23 yards, including that touchdown on the first drive. He's in the backfield now. Whaler back, little slip pass out there, Frankie Smith, and he'll squeeze up over the 40 to the 42.
Pretty good pitch and catch there. Kind of a timing route, perhaps. Just kind of get out there and turn yourself around. Whaler kind of anticipating that. Frankie Smith just sits down a little bit short of the stick. So 3rd and short coming up for St. Mary's. They continue what's been a strong start offensively.
Gain of 7 on that play. And it's 3rd down and about 2. Man in motion now. That's Talon Thomas. And they're going to pitch it back to him, and the ball loose on the ground, and Brockway's got it. He tried to pitch it. He might have been better, Nate, just to fall on that.
Yeah, he just got it tucked out, unfortunately. Yeah, too long of a pitch, and threw it behind Thomas. Ends up getting on the ground. Brockway, they have a short field now off the Dutch turnover. Brockway football here, short field at the 32-yard line. Trips on the far side, single receiver, near side sidecar for Patton out of the quarterback spot.
From the shotgun, he goes ahead to Weir. Collin hit and then falls forward down to the 29-yard line. It's about 3.
Yeah, pretty good pickup on first down.
Weir's been their leading ball carrier out of the backfield this year.
Same formation again for the Rovers.
Shotgun, here is Patton back to throw, has a ton of time. Gets his man complete over the middle. That's to Doherty, and then Doherty spins away. He's going to end up losing yardage. He had the ball down at the 24. But as he spun backwards, he's only going to end up with a gain of 1 down to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, the marker barely moved forward. Kind of lost a couple yards there when he got spun backwards. Good job by the St. Mary's defense to wrap and make it sure that he didn't get any extra yardage on that catch. So 3rd and 6 ensuing here. 2:25 left in the first quarter. But Brockway right outside the red zone.
And it'll be 3rd and about 6. And they go straight ahead with Patton on a run, and Patton falls forward. He gets hit and then gains about an extra 2 yards. And that, I believe, was that Owen Thompson that hit him?
Yeah, good tackle. So 4th down play here. Could have been a kicking situation. I think they have obviously a capable kicker in Doherty, but with the short field and kind of a short yardage situation just outside the red zone, the Rovers elect to go for it here in the early going.
They got to get to the St. Mary's 22, 4th down and about 3 with 1:38 to go here in this first quarter. 7-6. Brockway, little swing pass to Doherty, and Doherty gets hit and dropped. St. Mary's is held.
Yeah, that's a great job by the St. Mary's defense. Their pursuit and tackling on that set was huge. They turned it over. Dare stepped right back up and said, all right, you're not going to move the ball on us. We know we made a mistake, but now our defense is going to come up clutch, and they take over on downs.
At the 24-yard line. And that was a great effort there by the Dutch defense.
Yeah, the tackling was really impressive. Gang tackling, making sure that there was nothing extra after a lot of those receptions.
Here's Field, and he goes nowhere. I'm betting that's Yale. It is. Ben Yale in the backfield causing havoc, and they'll get him back to the, well, no gain, back to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Ben Yale just forcing his will, an experienced guy in the trenches, and he is having a heck of a ball game here in the first quarter.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 as we near the end of the first quarter. 1 minute exactly to go.
High formation here for the Dutch. One receiver out on our near side.
And they run option. They go straight ahead, and a fumble on the play, but it's recovered by St. Mary's. And Whaler right there to fall back on that one.
Yeah, lucky there. They did lose a little bit on that, but lucky to maintain possession there. We get near it's going to probably be the last play of this first quarter. As
they'll have to get another one off, as there's about a 7-second difference in the play clock and the game clock.
This one upcoming, I should have clarified. Yeah, this one upcoming.
My bad.
No,
I misunderstood you, man.
No, that's all right.
By the way, it's the first time you've worked with me. Feel free to slap me upside the head.
No. I'm having a blast.
Movement up front, and that's going to cost the Dutch 5.
Yeah, so some miscues here are from the St. Mary's offense after a very strong start. Just got to settle back into this ball game. Just have to realize what you've been doing all year and what got you here. Make sure that you just kind of settle in and understand, hey, nothing's really changed. We know that the game has changed, but what we're doing is still the same.
3rd down, 16 now, and another bit of movement up front. As the officials now going to sort this out, 2 of them come in as they try to determine who was the guilty part. Oh, they're going to do the Dutch again.
Wow. Yeah, 2 in a row. So they really got backed up quite a bit. 3rd and 21 coming up here for this Dutch offense. 1.7 seconds, and it's just going to go to the second quarter here now.
That'll run it out. We've played 1 here in DuBois after 1. Brockway 7, St. Mary's 6. High school football on the Hound, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
With 2 locations on Baker Alley and Ridgeway and Route 219 in Johnsonburg, Elk County Foods friendly staff is ready to serve you. They offer daily and weekly specials, including their 5 for $24.99 in the meat department. Check out their large hot and cold deli, the freshest of fresh produce, and their own homemade beef sticks and smoked cheese. Having a get-together? Let Elk County Foods do the work for you. Elk County Foods of Ridgeway and Johnsonburg, hometown proud. Check us out on Facebook or visit us online. Stop by Ridgeway Fox's Pizza Den and enjoy some delicious food. The menu is filled with all your favorites, including their famous pizza, hoagies, wedgies, salads, pasta dishes, fish dinners, and more. Plus new menu items for you to try. So when you're hungry, look no further than Fox's Pizza Den at 144 North Broad Street in Ridgeway. Give them a call at 814-776-2189. Ridgeway Fox's Pizza. Family owned and operated since 1987. Best of luck to all the athletes and teams.
Back at E.J. Mansell Stadium here in DuBois, J.J. Michaels, Nate Stice. End of 1 quarter in the District 9 3A championship. And Nate, this is what we thought it was going to be. It's been a big play extravaganza here in the first half. A couple of turnovers that have led to one St. Mary's touchdown. The Dutch were able to come back from their turnover and prohibit Brockway from getting in, but 7-6, end of 1.
Yeah, back and forth. Ball game here so far. St. Mary's got going early, but Brockway finished that quarter on a pretty strong note themselves.
Whaler back to throw, under pressure, gets away from it, and then goes down back at the 10-yard line on that 3rd down play. And they will mark, let's see where they marked that. It'll be at the 9.
So tough place to punt from if you're St. Mary's. 4th and 25, going to be punting from your own end zone. Got to make sure that you stop this Brockway rush to give Sheely some time to get a punt away. He's had a really strong year punting the ball. He gets some very favorable bounces, by the way. I've been impressed by that. He just kind of knows how to boot that thing, and they've got a lot of favorable rolls. this season.
Yeah, he's standing 2 yards deep, and it's a high kick. Carter Himes back there. He's going to let it bounce, and there it is, Nate. You're right on with that, man, as it'll roll dead at the 38-yard line.
I don't know. He knows something I don't. I don't know how to punt, but man, he hits boom balls, and then they just always seem to get a favorable bounce. He's had a pretty good year punting the ball. And I'll say this, St. Mary's punt coverage and their kick coverage has been really strong all season long. I've been really impressed by that. And I think not letting up too many big plays on those situations it has been huge and kind of something that doesn't get talked about enough for the Dutch.
Well, and that's very true. And, oftentimes you hear in this game, offense, defense, well, guess what? Special teams plays a big, big part of this game.
Absolutely. It's all three phases, no question.
Well, we got penalty on Brockway. Okay, so I guess that's a holding, did they say? I didn't hear. Oh, okay, it is a holding.
Yeah, so it's going to back them up a little bit further here, but still another short field situation in this ball game. Brockway still threatening.
So it'll start from the 48-yard line instead of the 38. First down and 10, 7-6 Brockway, 11:06 to go in the first half.
Trips.
And
go ahead, sorry,
I was going to say, a shotgun and a trips left here in the wide side of the field as Brockway goes from the right hash. They go handoff Weir, and Weir is hit and dropped, and there's, looks like Nico Asselone was the first man there for St. Mary's.
Asselone had a pretty strong couple games leading up to this District 9 championship ball game. Had a couple turnovers last week. Interception. I believe he recovered a fumble as well, and I think he blocked a punt. So he had a really good ball game. He continues what's been a strong season for him. But the whole ship was in on that tackle, JJ, led by Asselone. The whole ship was there on that.
And it was exactly what you draw up and you preach in practice. He was the kid that made that happen with penetration. Here's Patton to throw. Got a bunch of time deep downfield, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Kyle Kennedy, number 17. Great coverage by the Dutch. Matthew Gilmore back there.
That's been something they've improved upon very much as the season's gone on. Their coverage, they got some really great athletes back there in Thomas, Gilmore, Frankie Smith, and Stager. So pretty good coverage on that one. 3rd and 9 upcoming for the Rovers on this drive.
Patton now 6 of 8 on the day, 50 yards. 3rd and 9 from the 47-yard line. Patton's back to throw. Has time now out of the pocket as it collapses. That's going to be holding. Yep, you saw that coming. The pass is downfield. This one's coming back. Kennedy's going to score, but you could see that right in front of us, and you could hear the St. Mary's coaches. One of the Brockway linemen just completely punched a guy in the middle of his backside, and that one is going to come back.
Yeah, that's a tough break if you're Brockway, but a huge swing if you're St. Mary's. So it's going to be 3rd and longer now.
Cody went inside of the running back. He's got to stay outside of it.
So that is going to move it all the way back to the 42-yard line. That is the 3rd penalty on the Rovers today for 35 yards. They've had some biggies. That the unsportsmanlike conduct on the extra point, and now a couple of holding penalties. If you remember, that punt rolled dead at the 38.
Hey, we got to tell. Yeah, he can't do that. We talked about that all week.
And now this holding penalty.
Yeah, that's kind of a long delay here between plays to really sort this out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The officials went over to the sideline.
So 2 penalties.
Oh. Okay. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. I'm sorry, I thought it was going to be holding.
Yeah, they were going to, I think it was, what did they say, maybe chop block, and they declined it. They go with the loss of down on the illegal forward pass and also 5 yards. So 4th and 14 rather upcoming instead of 3rd and 19, which I believe it would have been.
So they're back to the Brockway 47-yard line now. 3rd and 14, 4th and 14. Because the loss of down.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely, yes, 4th and 14.
So they're going to punt it away. Doherty is in for that. Oh, he just got it out, almost. A great block there. As that was, I believe it was Field, Andrew, that came in. And almost got his paw on it.
Yeah, really good rush, and they just booted that thing way out of bounds. They've seen some of the, film potentially. Frankie Smith is a great returner, and as are a few others from St. Mary's. So they just wisely, I think, kick it out of bounds, and also just, kind of just lucky to get that thing away and prevent a block kick.
Well, St. Mary's, they mark the ball at the 34-yard line. First down for the Dutch. And they hand it on an end around and some room to run there. That is Steger, and Bruno gets up over the 40 to the 44-yard line.
So quick off the edge. You can, kind of a shorter kid, you can kind of hide him behind the line sometimes as well, and then he just scoots around, and then his speed just takes over from there. First down, St. Mary's on that play.
So gain of 10. Under 10 minutes to go in the half. 7-6 Brockway leads it. Straight ahead Field, and that play, that had no direction whatsoever as Field ran into one of his own linemen.
Yeah, that was a great surge up front by the Brockway front. I think that was both Yale and Maddox Decker getting in the backfield to cause havoc. Loss of 1 on the play for the Dutch.
So it'll be second down. Clock down to 9:08 to go here. Turned out to be a very nice day here in DuBois.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been raining and windy all week, so it's nice to see a little bit of sunshine and some pretty solid weather, all things considered, for early November.
And they give it again to Steger. Oh, nice. Bricks away from one tackle and then falls forward across midfield down to the Brockway 48-yard line. You touched on that, how much Steger's been a big part of their offense of late.
Absolutely, yeah. As someone who continues to get more totes and more confidence as this year's gone on, he kind of got, a couple carries here and there throughout the season, but the last month or so, he has been running with, a lot of force and picking up big gainers, and another one there.
Gain of 7. Steger 3 carries, 19 yards, and it's 3rd down and 3. Ball at the Brockway 48-yard line. Whaler under center. And they go straight ahead. That's Field on the dive, and Field will get down to about 45, right at that lead stick.
Yeah, they gave him a first down on that. That was really close. I wasn't sure, but see that chain gang moving. So a first down for St. Mary's.
Gain of 3. And the Dutch got a little drive going here. 7:54 to go. Maddox Decker was in on that last tackle. He's one of the 2 beasts on defense for this Brockway team in the middle there.
He had 5 sacks last game against them.
That's crazy. Here's Field, and that goes nowhere. Ben Yale says, "You're not running in my direction."
No.
Excuse me, sir.
Man, he is a force. And it's obvious why he's a 3-time All-District, 3-time All-State player. He is all over the place up front. Someone that, you might have to consider giving a double team just to make sure that you're opening up a hole for your guys to run.
Field's going to come off here after that play. Looks a little shaken up. He sits down over in the sideline. That kid's a tough kid.
Yeah, he's got a wrap on his hand. He's twisted an ankle this year, but man, that kid plays his heart out.
High formation, they pitch left. Here's Steger running with the ball. He's got some room. Blockers in front, breaks 3, and he's got a first down. Man, oh man, the more I see this kid, the more I love him. Well, they're going to mark him out of bounds short of the first down. They're going to mark him at the 36.
Yeah, close to a first down, but ultimately they didn't get it. So third.
Well, now, okay, yeah, they're going to mark him just shy of the 36. Yep, just shy.
Yeah, I thought they got that for sure too, but still a pretty good gainer there for Stager. Third and short situation for the Dutch. Continuing to move the ball well here in this second quarter.
Clock down to 6:49. Stopped on the out of bounds. 7-6 Brockway here, second quarter, the District 9 3A championship.
Gold and something else. We need to try something like that. Should run the Yale side so you can double.
Whaler, they hand it off to Field. He bounces it outside, and he gets submarined. There on the tackle was Ben Dash, along with, looked like Colton Kale, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, Brockway just kind of strung that out. Field had to run a long way just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Brockway defense.
4th and 1. Big play here.
Certainly is, yeah. It's critical to get a good push up front if you're St. Mary's. They didn't quite get the best one last play, but still another opportunity here on 4th and 1.
Stager the up back in the I formation, and they go with Field. First down, into the territory, there he goes! Touchdown, St. Mary's!
So good.
They blocked that one a little better, as I was saying. They needed to come up with it, and they certainly did. 4th and 1, and they get 6 out of it. What a play, what a run by Andrew Field, and great blocking up front by the Dutch offensive line.
36-yard touchdown run, and Andrew Field has his second touchdown of the day. The Spitzer scoring play brought to you by Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's. Their world revolves around you. And now the extra point attempt coming up here for Mason Nicholas. Good snap, the ball loose, and it's going to be no good. Oh, no, it's picked up off the ground. Nicholas with it, but he can't get in. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. A little bit high of a snap, but it wasn't handled well. Nicholas, the kicker, picks it up. Just unfortunately couldn't get in. So Brockway, comes up big with that play. 12-7, they lead.
As we take time out, high school football on the How, brought to you by St. Mary's
Hello,
Insurance.
this is Michelle from Christ Family Funeral Homes. Together with my husband, Roy, we own and operate Lynch Green Funeral Home in St. Mary's, Christ Funeral Homes in Ridgeway and Kersey. As the largest provider of burial and cremation services in Elk County, families often turn to us in their time of need to help them create beautiful life celebrations, offer a comforting hand, and care for your family as if they're our own.
For more information, visit ChristFamilyFuneralHomes.com. That's ChristFamilyFuneralHomes.com.
Hey, Carney from Cataldo Collision. Do you know Cataldo Collision is certified or recommended by the following automobile manufacturers? Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Nissan, Kia, Hyundai, General Motors, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Honda, Acura, and Subaru. So if your vehicle was involved in an accident, bring it to the Tri-County's largest certified or recommended collision repair center, Cataldo's Collision, on Division Street in DuBois, the building with the big red roof. And remember, we do magic.
Here's the kickoff, comes down at the 18-yard line. That is Carter Himes on the return, and Himes back up over the 30 and out to about the 34-yard line for Brockway. St. Mary's, Andrew Field, his second touchdown of the game. Extra point, no good on that. And, great play, great run, but boy, extra points. How many times, Nate, do we talk about them coming back to haunt you?
Yeah, that's critical. Unfortunately, just, a high snap. The holder, I believe, didn't catch it cleanly, and then kind of a broken play. They gave it their best chance, but yeah, no, you got to have those, absolutely, especially in a game like this.
So first down for the Rovers now at their own 35-yard line, and they go to Weir straight ahead, and that one gets blown up. Whole bunch of white jerseys there, and that was led by Landon Cook.
Yeah, Landon Cook. He is their heart and soul, is what I like to call him. Really good fullback, but he's a better linebacker, no question about it. Definitely one of the leaders on this defense. Comes up with a big tackle there, bringing up 2nd and 10, so gaining nothing there on that play.
Clock down to 5:23 to go first half, 12-7. St. Mary's leads it. Now here's Patton to throw. He's got time, flips it out, got a man that's caught And that's Winnings up to about the first down marker at the 45, and he'll have it.
Yeah, that's just awareness, getting right to the sticks. High throw, but a good catch there to corral that. And Brockway moving their way down the field now. Brockway going to have two receivers on the near side, one on the far side. Out of the shotgun formation, sidecar to Patton's left.
And that was Kale, I believe, on that reception before. 0 and 8 look differently. And now we're going to have a timeout called by Brockway. We will too. High school football on the Hound brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Grilling season is never over, and that means a trip to Bell's Meat and Poultry in Kane for the best cuts of beef, chicken, and pork that money can buy. Whether it's a big juicy burger, mouth-watering steak, delicious chops, sizzling sausage, or fresh chicken, it all tastes better from Bell's. Pick up some beef sticks, some special smoked cheese, spicy dip, a world-famous griller, ham or chicken salad, and more at Bell's Meat and Poultry in Kane. Open 7 days a week to serve you. Johnson's Tire Service on Route 6 in Clarendon has been your Goodyear tire dealer for over 40 years. If you're in the market for a new set of truck tires, Johnson's Tire Service is your area dealer for Goodyear, Michelin, and other brands. They offer alignment service for trucks, motorhomes, and trailers. Call 814-723-3950 or find them online at johnsonstire.com. Johnson's Tire Service thanks their customers for their positive reviews, earning a top-rated service center distinction by Carfax.
12-7 Dutch as the first down now for Brockway up at their own 45-yard line. 4:40 to go here in this first half. Patton on the keeper, and he'll get a little bit of yardage. He squirms up to about the 48. And that'll be gain of 3.
Yeah, decent gainer on first down for Brockway. Pretty good tackling there again from St. Mary's.
Rovers looking at second down here. Now keep in mind we're into the last 4 minutes of the half. St. Mary's gets the second half kickoff. Patton back to throw. Under some pressure, gets it out, and it's in and out of the hands of Colin Weir, incomplete.
Yeah, Weir just didn't look it in. He was looking to run before he caught the ball. You see that once in a while. It's a big break for St. Mary's to get a favorable outcome on that play. He was wide open for the first down.
So third down and 7. And boy, how, they talk about the last 4 minutes. I bring that 4 minutes up because they talk about the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half. If St. Mary's can get this stop here, they have a chance to pull off the double. Score before halftime, score after halftime. So
absolutely.
A lot to go in between. There's a pitch to Himes. He's got it. And Carter going to be across midfield, but short of the first down.
Yeah, that was good tackling there by St. Mary's. That was Matthew Gilmore, I think, bringing him down. So 4-yard gain brings up 4th and 3 now for Brockway as they get across midfield. It's a big play here. This could lead to what you were saying, JJ, in terms of, those 4 minutes. You get a stop here, punch one in, then you get the ball in the second half.
Fourth down, about 3. Patton trying to draw him offside there. Good job by the Dutch of staying put. And Patton keeps it himself, runs left side. He's got the first down. He dives inside the 45.
Good play there by Patton. Didn't look like St. Mary's was lined up exactly how they needed to be. There was communication in the secondary. I think they were trying to push some guys around. Patton just aware where the first down was, dives forward and just gets enough to keep it going.
Gain of 4, 44-yard line now. Clock at 3 minutes and running here. First half, 12-7. St. Mary's leads it. Patton, shotgun snap, flips out here. Got it. Doherty, nope. Yeah, they say it's complete, but his knee was down. He'll get down to about the 38-yard line.
I was almost picked off. Defensive back from St. Mary's jumped the route and just missed tipping that away or picking that thing off. And then they were kind of lucky his knee went down there. He had a long way to run if his knee didn't go down there.
Gain of 6 on that play. Here's Ball straight ahead by Patton. He runs it himself. He gets down to the 34-yard line. And that should be another first down. Gain of 4 yards. Well, and what looked promising for St. Mary's perhaps now looks promising for Brockway as they go first down. 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, Brockway seems to be content maybe being the last one to possess this ball going into the second half.
They go to Weir straight ahead. He cuts it back, has some room, and he's into the secondary, and he's tripped up. A touchdown-saving tackle down there by Matthew Gilmore down at the 10-yard line.
Wow, that's a huge tackle, but an even better run there by Ware to get them down into the red zone. Matthew Gilmore, I don't even know where he came from to make that play. That was a huge stop. But
that was, I mean, he literally grabbed his shoelace.
I know.
Is what that was.
Yeah, that was a great effort to save a touchdown. But Brockway marching in on this drive.
Well, now I believe it is 1st and 10. We're going to have a timeout called here. So it's by St. Mary's. We'll take 1-2. High school football brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
You've heard it said before that financial security doesn't come easy. You have to plan for it, work for it, and manage your money wisely. In today's financial world, it sure helps to have a bank that helps with that process. At Hamlin Bank, they are the bank that takes care of its customers. Visit one of their locations in Smethport, Kane, Mount Jewett, Eldred, Bradford, Olean, New York, St. Mary's, and their newest branch in Sheffield. See them online at hamlinbank.com. Member FDIC.
If you're planning on having masonry work done this year, call the pros at Steger Masonry in Ridgeway at 772-7083. Their years of experience will make sure the job's done right. Call Steger Masonry at 772-7083, 772-7083, Steger Masonry in Ridgeway. Schedule your masonry work with the pros. Remember, masonry is no hobby.
The ball marked at the 11-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from the 11. Here's Patton, a little pitch out to Weir. Cuts it back inside the 5. He dives forward down to about the 3 or 2.
Brockway just continuing what's been a really strong drive, taking a lot of time off the clock. You know, we were here 2 minutes ago, JJ, talking about if they can get a stop and another score and then get the ball in the second half. But now Brockway, you know, they've marched right down to the 2-yard line, I think, here with a minute to go in the second quarter.
Second down and call it 2. They're going to mark him at the 3. And here comes that tight formation for the Rovers now. They hand it off straight ahead, and it's Winnings, and he's in. Touchdown, Brockway.
That was all Winnings on that drive, and he gets rewarded with a touchdown there. He was making things happen. Good push by Brockway again on that play to finish what was a very strong drive here in this second quarter.
Matthew Winnings from 3 yards out. The Spitzer scoring play brought to you by Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's.
Brockway going to go for 2.
Shotgun formation here on the try. Patton back to throw. Has a ton of time. Eats his lunch, then throws in the back of the end zone, and it is caught by Kennedy for the 2-point conversion. And that makes it Brockway 15, St. Mary's 12. High school football on the Hound brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Here in Elk County, family means everything. At St. Mary's Insurance and Affiliates, we treat our clients like part of our family. That's why St. Mary's Insurance, Borst Insurance in Ridgeway, and the Smith Keats Agency in Johnsonburg have been trusted by generations to protect homes, cars, businesses, and families. From our family to yours, we're here to protect what matters most. Stop by one of our offices, give us a call, or visit us online at stmarysagency.com.
Lindbergh Furniture, that's the store.
Where you'll find bargains galore.
Bob and Bunny will save you cash.
And deliver your furniture in a flash.
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh Furniture wants to congratulate the teams playing in tonight's game. Congratulations on all you've achieved this year. They're proud of you and your success. You're a fine example of our area youth.
Back in DuBois, Brockway in a back and forth battle now leads at 15-12 after the touchdown and two-pointer. And now Doherty will get set to kick it off. 49 7/10 seconds remaining here in this first half. And this is a low liner. It's going to be picked up down at the 8-yard line. And on the return for St. Mary's is TJ Singer. And now he laterals it off there to Frankie Smith. And Frankie to the left side. And he twirls up over the 15 to about the 17. And now we've got a penalty flag over on the far side. Oh, my.
Wow. Yeah, that was just a tough return there. Singer bobbled it a little bit, then Pat pitches it off. Frankie Smith runs the whole way across the field to just pick up a handful of yards. And then, not sure what exactly this penalty will be. Referee's having a little conference here on the far side.
Well, the ball is... and that's a big one. As he got to the 17... So they're going to mark off.
So that's going to get him to the 32-yard line. So that helps him a little bit. St. Mary's, I think, has a couple timeouts.
Yes, they do. That's another big penalty. Here's a little swing pass out in the flat. It's caught. That is Frankie Smith, and Frankie Smith has a first down. And another penalty flag.
It's a good first down play.
Nope, it is. No, yep. Gets all the way to the Brockway 48-yard line. I like that little swing pass. And Frankie Smith did the rest with that, Nate.
Yeah, good awareness to step out of bounds, too. You get the yardage, keep your timeouts, and then it can really allow you to call so many different things still in your playbook with 32 seconds to go.
Well, they ride field straight ahead, or is that Stager? Stager doesn't get much. In fact, he doesn't get anything. Timeout going to be called here by St. Mary's, and they'll have one remaining.
Guess who again? Ben Yale from Brockway.
Yeah. That kid is amazing. We've the game we did with Ridgeway, we called his name. I swear he had to have at least 6 or 7 impactful tackles, and most of those were behind the line, Nate, and that's big when you're a D lineman.
It's rare. It's rare to see that many plays made by a defensive lineman. If we're paying guys in the NFL millions of dollars to make literally 5 plays a game. It's so rare. These guys are getting $40, $45 million in the NFL to make 5 plays a game. But Ben Yale, he is making even more than 5. He's making like 15 a game on the defensive line. That kid's a gamer.
He might be able to wear 90 for the Steelers because that guy isn't doing nothing for $41 million a year.
Yeah.
26 and 4/10 seconds remain. 15-12. Brockway here. First half just about done. Dutch looking to get something here before halftime. They get the ball to start the second half. And Whaler will go from the shotgun. Yes, I am a bitter Steeler fan, by the way. Pass out to Smith. Frankie makes a move. Nice move, and he scoots out of bounds.
Yeah, Frankie Smith just continues to be on a roll here. The last month of the season, he has just continued to come up big. Any way they can get the football, any way they can get him the football, he just continues to cash in on those opportunities. This drive has been all him and Whaler.
Down to 20.9 to go, and it's third down and about 3. And back to throws Whaler. He rolls to the right. Has some time, now flips down here, and out of the reach of the outstretched hands of Talon Thomas. It was a great throw, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, 4th and 3 coming up now. Still have a chance just out in front of Thomas there. That would have been a huge pickup.
The only thing about that is you wonder if he would have been able to get out of bounds. Now, St. Mary's does have one more timeout left.
Right, yeah, the clock would have stopped, too, to reset.
Yeah.
So you still would have had an opportunity. And you're right, they still did have one more timeout as well.
And it'll be 4th down now, and we're going to have timeout called here by, it'll be St. Mary's, and it'll be their final timeout of this first half, and we'll keep it right here. Coming up at the halftime report brought to you by Bell's Meat and Poultry on Fraley Street in Kane, and we'll have much more on them. I got to tell you about what we had last night. Did you hear about it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything until we come up at halftime here, but I want to tell you about it, and believe me, you're going to be jealous. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they always get us right here on 97.5 The Hound, 93.9.
Yeah.
Obviously they're incredible. We had quite a feast down our way in Clarion County as well.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of fill people in with what we had as well. They always get us right. Bell's Meat and Poultry, they've been awesome to us this season.
Indeed they are, and we appreciate all that they do for us. If you are still on the caring side of Penn State football for the year, they're down 17-14 to Ohio State at the half. I kind of figured they'd show up and play. I called it. I said, you watch. The way the season's going, they're going to upset Ohio State. We'll see. Here we go. Field throws, and it's caught, and it's going to be a first down. I'm sorry, that was Whaler, of course. And it'll be first down at the 32-yard line. Now back to throw. Going to flip it down deep into the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown! Frankie Smith! 1 second to go! Oh, are you kidding me?
Wow, they didn't go with the spike. They just let it fly, and Frankie Smith streaking right down the middle. Cashes in on defense that just couldn't come up with the coverage there. Frankie Smith, that was all him and Whaler on this drive.
32-yard touchdown pass. My goodness.
Wow, what a huge answer at the end of the half. And now they get it coming out. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the Dutch going to go for 2 here. They lead at 18-15. That was pretty looking, man.
Wow. I mean, that's just awareness. That's just taking a chance. Time expiring. That's something you kind of dream of in the backyard your whole life. And they just executed it beautifully there. Oh, unbelievable.
Wow. Whaler under center. They go to Field, and Field gets the 2-pointer. He is in, and now St. Mary's leads it 20-15 over Brockway.
That's how you cash in at the end of the half. Wow. Great awareness by Whaler. Some people thinking maybe they'll come up and spike it, then take a chance. He was aware of the clock. They had to play in ready. Frankie Smith just streaks right down the middle of the field over the top, and they connect on that huge 32-yard pass touchdown in here with 1.7 seconds left in the second quarter.
Well, that was a work of art by the Dutch there. Absolutely work of art. And you think back to that, when that started, they were stopped at the 16. That personal foul penalty got them into a much better shape field position-wise, and they went 69 yards. And it went about 48 seconds. There was 49.7 when the drive started, so now there's 1.7 on the clock. And the Dutch will kick this off, and now you got to be careful here on this kickoff.
Yeah, you might just see a squib, something in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
But you got to kick it deep enough so you kind of prevent a Hail Mary chance at the same time. You kind of want to see kind of an intermediate kick, for lack of a better term.
And they squib it, and it'll be picked up. The ball hits off a Bash. Bash takes it at the 29, over the 30, and up over the 40-yard line. He'll be tackled, and that will end the first half here in DuBois. What a first half it has been. The St. Mary's Flying Dutchmen. Some big-time magic as they lead it 20-15 at the break. The halftime report, brought to you by Bell's Meat and Poultry on Fraley Street in Kane, is coming up next. High school football on the Hound, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Heating and cooling done right, guaranteed. Epic heating and cooling. All day or night when you need. Epic heating and cooling. Epic. Every time we show up for you. Epic. Making your day feel epic, like a superhero. Epic. Heating and cooling experts, tried, trusted, and
Listen up, fam! The Sons of Little Italy in Elk County is serving the most authentic pizza and heroes around. It's like it's straight from Italy in New York right to your plate. Are you craving that mafia-grade taste? Well, this is the place for you. So get this, they've got differing hours each day. If you want to find out when they're open, do me a favor. Get onto their Facebook page, like them, and then take a peek. Now, they're closed on Sundays and Mondays because, hey, even gangsters need a little breather from what I hear. So, get your hands on the Take and Bake DiCerbo and Enzo pies, their fresh bread, heroes, and more. You can order now. Go online at thesonsoflittleitaly.com. That's thesonsoflittleitaly.com. Call them up, 814-773-3199. Now, listen, don't wait, Capos. This ain't no chain joint. It's the real deal. Storm in and taste the legacy today. The Sons of Little Italy, 25 Luray Drive in Ridgeway. Need a loan? Go to Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. I'll bet you've heard that a few hundred times, but have you actually investigated it? They have a loan for your life. Whether it's an auto loan for a new or used vehicle, a loan for your college student, a home loan, a loan to get a boat, RV, ATV, or a snowmobile, or a loan to take that long overdue vacation you need. I think you get the idea. They give out a lot of loans. Not only that, but the rates on those loans are even sweeter. Do you live, work, worship, or attend school in Elk, Cameron, McKean, or Warren County? If so, then you qualify for membership at Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. See how simple it can be. Visit one of their 7 locations in the area or log on to mlfcu.net. Best of luck to all the athletes competing today from Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union, where it certainly is good to be a member.
Do you suffer from uncomfortable varicose veins? Are your legs restless, swollen, or sore? Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway, along with experienced vascular surgeon and St. Mary's native, Dr. Philip Georgievich, will be offering a free vein screening on Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Stop struggling with sore and swollen varicose veins. We will see you Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 at Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway. No appointment necessary.
When you want a hometown feel with plenty of options, you choose Spitzer Outer World St. Mary's, where the service is fun, fast, easy, and now backed by the Spitzer Shield. When you choose us, you choose a variety of brand new vehicles across 3 separate lots. When you choose us, you choose to know everything we've done to make our pre-owned vehicles second to none. A rigorous inspection process performed by factory-trained technicians and professional detail inside and out. Visit us along the $1 Million Highway today for all of your Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford needs. Spitzer Outer World St. Mary's, our world revolves around
Top
you.
of the line builders, the area's leader in quality roofing projects, now add seamless gutter installation to our services. At Top of the Line Builders, our staff is trained to offer professional installation. For more information and a no obligation quote on seamless gutters, call Nick Cherry at 814-965-5785. We offer free estimates and are fully insured. Top of the Line Builders. Get your project done right the first time.
Wouldn't it be great if you could have your insurances for auto, home, business, farm, life, and retirement in just one agency? That's what Pacelli Insurance is for. They can help protect what is important for you and your family's future. Visit Pacelli Insurance in St. Mary's or call them at 814-781-3888. Pacelli Insurance, your preferred local independent insurance agency. Pacelli Insurance, where we protect your world.
Have you been looking for a career in the powdered metal industry? Medco Industries is now hiring. Medco Industries on Brussels Street in St. Mary's is a locally owned company offering long-term steady careers or part-time work with advancement opportunities and great benefits. Operations are regular 8-hour shifts with most weekends off. Medco's machining facility, Pro Process LLC, offers CNC operator and setup positions in a climate-controlled facility. Apply online at medcopm.com. Medco Industries, locally owned and operated in St. Mary's for over 40 years.
When is the last time you really felt like your body was functioning properly? If you can't remember, then it's time for you to call Rowley Family Chiropractic of St. Mary's. They've been serving the community for 25 years. Their mission is to improve your overall quality of life by allowing your nervous system to work at its fullest potential. Want to know more? Log on RowleyFamilyChiropractic.com or call 814-834-1045. Rowley Family Chiropractic, improving health one spine at a time. Zook Motors in Kane is a proud supporter of the area's high school sports teams. They know what it means to be part of a community. Family owned and operated, they've been serving the area for almost 100 years. That's why you can trust Zooks to find you the right vehicle for your needs and price range. Best of luck to the players and coaches in today's matchup from everyone on the team at Zook Motors, your area Ford dealer just west of Kane on Route 6.
With 2 locations on Baker Alley in Ridgeway and Route 219 in Johnsonburg, Elk County Foods' friendly staff is ready to serve you. They offer daily and weekly specials, including their 5 for $24.99 in the meat department. Check out their large hot and cold deli, the freshest of fresh produce, and their own homemade beef sticks and smoked cheese. Having a get-together? Let Elk County Foods do the work for you. Elk County Foods of Ridgeway and Johnsonburg, hometown proud. Check us out on Facebook or visit us online.
For nearly 40 years, one name in the area stands out when it comes to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and more.
Hi, this is Shirley from Newell's Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning. We have been providing plumbing and HVAC services in St. Mary's since 1984. Our customers are our #1 priority, and we are quick to answer or return calls, especially in emergency situations. From initial estimates through the project completion, we will work with you to ensure you're 100% satisfied. Our team of technicians has a combined 88 years of experience, so we have knowledge on our side for any job. We are professional, fair, family-friendly, and work with you to understand your needs and goals. From residential to light commercial, we can ensure your plumbing and HVAC systems are running at peak performance.
For all your plumbing and heating needs, put your trust in us. Newell's Plumbing and Heating's Trout Run Road, St. Mary's.
Stop by Ridgeway Fox's Pizza Den and enjoy some delicious food. The menu is filled with all your favorites, including their famous pizza, hoagies, wedgies, salads, pasta dishes, fish dinners, and more. Plus new menu items for you to try. So when you're hungry, look no further than Fox's Pizza Den at 144 North Broad Street in Ridgeway. Give them a call at 814-776-2189. Ridgeway Fox's Pizza, family owned and operated since 1987. Best of luck to all the athletes and teams.
Welcome back to E.J. Mansell Stadium here in DuBois at the half. And what a first half it's been. The District 9 3A championship. The St. Mary's Flying Dutchman leading 20-15 at the half. As we come back into the press box here, J.J. Michaels and Nate Stice as we bring you the Bell's halftime report. Bell's Meat and Poultry on Fraley Street in Kane. Open 7 days a week to serve you with the best cuts of beef, chicken, and pork, and sausage, and pork chops, and whatever else that money can buy up there. It is excellent stuff. And I know they're open right now, and I hope you get a chance to stop in and see them for all kinds of good stuff. As Nate, we come back here at the half. What an ending to that first half. You know, the Dutch, they get the ball back with just a hair under 50 seconds left at their own 31-yard line after the penalty on that kickoff return. And then a couple of plays down the field, they face first down. Well, they get the fourth down conversion on a pass to Talon Thomas. And then little Dan Marino makes an appearance here with Brody Whaler as they fake spike it and then toss it for the touchdown. And what a pass that was.
Unreal. What a great check by Coach Dworick there to say, hey, guys, we're going to take a chance here. We're going to kind of settle in, fake the spike, throw it over the top, and Frankie Smith just continues the hot streak he's on. The last month, he has really emerged. We knew he was capable all year, but he has really finally just converted on the opportunities. Once he gets those more chances, he has really cashed in on those. Makes a huge play for the Dutch offense here at the end of the half. And now they have some momentum going into what should be an exciting second half here.
You know, you look at this game, and it's got everything that you would think a district championship would have. You've got turnovers that have resulted in points. You've got big plays that have come back to, make the other team haunt them. It's just been a back-and-forth deal, and man, what an effort on both sides. And if this second half is anything like the first half was, you said it, we're in for quite the finish. And I think, on the Brockway side of things, they were unable to they got a couple of big pass plays in that first half. Both of them, I think, went to Colton Kale. 26 yards and then a 10-yard completion. But we saw a lot of their receivers trying to make plays after the catch. And that's good, but you have to give credit to the St. Mary's defense because they did not allow the yak. And if you're not familiar with that, it's yards after catch. So once they catch it and move forward, St. Mary's has done a great job defending their receivers.
Yeah, and that's not easy to do. Open field tackling is one of the hardest things to do, I think, across any sport. You know, it's really, really tough to do that. And Matthew Gilmore in particular has made some outstanding open field tackles tonight. He's been maybe just a half a step short on the coverage, but once he gets there, he's making sure there's none of that yak like you were talking about, JJ.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been neat to see just the way that, it just out of nowhere, kids make big plays. I mean, you think about just the guys up front that are making these plays, tackling people. It's so great to see on both sides of the ball the way that works out. But that's where we are at the half, 20-15 stat-wise. Whaler in the first half for St. Mary's, 5 of 6, 72 yards and a touchdown. That went to Frankie Smith. He's grabbed 4 balls for 63 yards and a score. On the ground, Andrew Field, pretty good first half, 11 carries, 62 yards, couple of touchdowns. Fantasy owners would be happy with that. Bruno Steger, I love watching that kid run, 5 carries, 28 yards for him in the first half. On the Brockway side, Patton, 9 of 11, 70 yards. Colin Weir, 6 rushes for 41 yards. Patton has 6 carries for 29 yards himself. Carter Himes, he has the 1 rush for the 3-yard touchdown. He's also grabbed a couple of passes for 11 yards. Matthew Winnings, 1 carry on the day, happened to be for a touchdown. And then Doherty has caught 4 balls for 23 yards. Colton Kale, 3 catches for 36 yards in that one. So it'll be neat to see what these halftime adjustments will do here for both sides. And we'll find that out here shortly as we come out for the second half. Halftime report brought to you by Bell's Meat and Poultry on Fraley Street in Kane. And I got to make you jealous. This week, the weather, it's been rainy and cold and windy and everything. And I called up James, our buddy at Bell's. And if you don't know, James is a big-time chili guy. He's won some chili cook-offs over the years. And I said, can you make me a pot of chili for Friday night in Kane? And he said, sure. Well, there's about 2 minutes left in the half, and he comes in with this big pot of chili. And I mean big pot of chili, and it sits it next to Mike and me, and you can just smell. You know how chili smells when it's been, oh, man. The last 2 minutes of the half took forever, and I could not wait. But, yeah, he made us a pot of chili. Using stuff there. Now they don't make the chili, but they can give you everything you need there to get it started. And he recommends their Bigfoot burgers. Have you ever had their Bigfoot burgers?
Never had their Bigfoot burgers, but I don't think it's bad. I'm sure it's pretty dang good, like everything.
There's nothing bad that comes out of that store.
Exactly.
And he recommends using your meat as the Bigfoot burgers, and it's the way they're seasoned. And it was just so flavorful. It was the perfect kind of chili. Bud Brennan, who was on the District 9 committee, he was the game manager last night. And he said, that's one of the best chilies I've ever had. He had never been up in the press box before in Kane. And he came up, he said, boy, it's nice up here. I said, come back at halftime. It'll be a little more nicer. And he had that, and he couldn't get over it. It was so neat. But again, thanks to James for treating us to that last night. But, all season long they've been taking care of us, and you guys have had some good stuff along the way, too.
Yeah, every kind of dip possible that they have. I mean, goodness gracious. I did a ranking system, Mark did as well last week at St. Mary's. It was pretty awesome. The beef sticks have been fantastic. The cooked chicken and some seafood a little bit as well. They always give us a huge heaping box. Cajun catfish,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They give us a huge hopping thing of, Ritz crackers every week for the dips. And then the cheese last night was definitely fantastic amongst, all the smoked Cooper, I think, was the one that they've given us quite a bit as well. But, yeah, the cheeses, the meats, the dips, anything you could want, they have it at Bell's Meat and Poultry. They always get us right, and definitely thankful to have them as our halftime sponsor.
As well as I do, this is a big hunting area. Everybody loves to hunt. And Barry always used to talk about having stuff as a hunter. When you're sitting in the blind and you're waiting and waiting, it's nice to be able to pull out a pack of beef sticks and pull one out, or some of that hillbilly bacon that you can slice up, or pull out some of the dip and whatever. It's amazing. And the thing I love about it, it doesn't matter if you are an experienced cook or if you're just learning, and I am not. My girlfriend, Melissa, God love her, she is the best cook on planet Earth. She makes so many great things. And whatever you are, I burn toast, so that tells you what it is with me. Go in there and talk to them. Hey, what do you need? And they'll tell you, look, okay, here's your griller. Do this in the oven for this amount of time at this temperature. It'll turn out perfectly. Which, by the way, there's a lot of people that do a griller for Thanksgiving. And it's November. We're talking Thanksgiving now, man.
Right.
It's coming. But anything, man, in there, they will talk to you and give you, advice on what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And we just thank them. We can't thank them enough for their great sponsorships.
Absolutely. They're awesome. They had honey barbecue beef sticks, which are my
How did you like
favorite.
those? Did you like those?
Those are my favorite.
Okay.
I have a sweet tooth. Everybody that knows me, they know that about me. Honey barbecue chicken wings and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Sweet and spicy wings. Those are like my favorite all time.
Okay.
I like garbage wings too. So like anything sweet, I love. So that was right up my alley. Man, that was awesome last night.
You need to try their hot mustard. Their hot mustard that they have.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's got a little sweet and hot to it. It's just enough to sweeten, a little bit to wake up the taste buds. Rick and I had that earlier this year. Really, really stuff. So thanks to Bell's Meat and Poultry on Fraley Street in Kane. Second half coming up. We'll have it for you. High school football on the Hound brought to you by St. Mary's
Hello,
Insurance.
this is Michelle from Christ Family Funeral Homes. Together with my husband Roy, we own and operate Lynch Green Funeral Home in St. Mary's, Christ Funeral Homes in Ridgeway and Kersey. As the largest provider of burial and cremation services in Elk County, families often turn to us in their time of need to help them create beautiful life celebrations, offer a comforting hand, and care for your family as if they're our own.
For more information, visit ChristFamilyFuneralHomes.com. That's ChristFamilyFuneralHomes.com.
You wouldn't go to a veterinarian for heart surgery. So why would you go to any body shop to have your vehicle needs repaired? Go to the Certified Collision Center, Cataldo Collision. We are certified in most makes and models. With some of our certifications, we are the only shop within 50 miles. So when in need of collision repairs, get qualified, certified collision repairs at Cataldo's Collision on Division Street in DuBois, the building with the big red roof. 814-372-8600. And remember, we do magic.
Are you hungry? Bell's Meat and Poultry can fill you up with 40 mouth-watering flavors of sausage from Greek to blueberry maple. How about a chicken breast, Virginia ham, Swiss cheese, Greek sausage, bacon-wrapped ball of deliciousness that is their world-famous griller? Don't forget they have fresh cuts of meat, and you can't have meat without cheese, and Bell's has the best smoked cheese around. Don't believe me? Just ask any of the people from State College to Buffalo that have come to Kane to visit the biggest little store around. 814-837-7321.
Back at Mansell Stadium here in DuBois, set for the second half kickoff. J.J. Michaels, Nate Stice. And Nate, second half always important for adjustments. Those are the big things when you go into that locker room and you draw stuff up and you talk about it. This is where all that comes into effect here. What do you think is the expectant part of this first few minutes of this second half?
Yeah, if you're St. Mary's, you got to run some plays to get 57 out of the way. Ben Yale, I mean, he's just causing havoc up front. So if you can kick him, if you can double him, trap him, all that sort of stuff, you do it. I think that's one of the keys for St. Mary's here in the second half because he was just wrecking havoc. If you're Brockway, you got to quit shooting yourself in the foot. Some of these unnecessary penalties, that's something they really got to clean up. They've moved the ball quite well, and then they got to quit giving up, kind of the big play. Obviously one before the half there. That'll be key for them here in the second half.
Ball picked up at the 19-yard line, and on the return looks to be T.J. Singer. Singer brings it back out over the 30. And it'll be first down at the 31-yard line. Dutch leading it 20-15. And a big closure to that first half on the fake spike. It's been an entertaining game. First down And they're going to go handoff left. That's Talon Thomas on the jet sweep, and Thomas brought down. Great defensive effort there. I want to say that's Kale. No, that's Colin Weir.
Good
Colin
job.
Weir.
Outside contained there. Didn't let Thomas get quite to the outside. Just a pickup of 1 there for Thomas on the reverse play. 2nd and 9 coming up here for the Dutch. Similar to the Brockway, they have wristbands of their own, JJ, that they just kind of go to, and everybody kind of is in command out there.
I remember the old days when it was 3 yards and a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
And it was the right 24 dive or whatever. Now it's like a Starbucks order when you go.
It certainly is.
To do the offensive play. Here's Field. He spins forward up over the 35. He'll get to the 37. Gain of 6.
Andrew Field, just a workhorse for St. Mary's. You know, someone that doesn't have many plays off throughout a ball game, plays both sides. But, man, he is as tough as they come. You know, you see that wrap there on his hand, but it doesn't matter. Hasn't slowed him down much here this afternoon.
Well, he's guts, and you love that about the kid. Here's a handoff, and not much there. Ball picked away. It's taken away and returned for a touchdown. That's Colton Kale. No, Matthew Winnings. Fumble recovery on the play. At about the 30, let's see, it was at the 37-yard line. And they fumble it and returns it. Matthew Winnings.
Wow, just what a swing of momentum there. You know, you just didn't really know what happened. You kind of thought his forward progress was stopped, no whistles, and then all of a sudden, Brockway's going the other way with it, and they score. They take the lead right back, 21-20, and they're going for 2.
Shotgun for Patton. There's a pitch out, and Weir is going to get stopped short of the line to get to that goal line, and the score remains 21-20. Another Spitzer scoring play brought to you by Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's. High school football continues on the Hound. 21-20 Brockway. It's brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Johnson's Tire Service on Route 6 in Clarendon has been your Goodyear tire dealer for over 40 years. If you're in the market for a new set of truck tires, Johnson's Tire Service is your area dealer for Goodyear, Michelin, and other brands. They offer alignment service for trucks, motorhomes, and trailers. Call 814-723-3950 or find them online at johnsonstire.com. Johnson's Tire Service thanks their customers for their positive reviews, earning a top-rated service center distinction by Carfax. You've heard it said before that financial security doesn't come easy. You have to plan for it, work for it, and manage your money wisely. In today's financial world, it sure helps to have a bank that helps with that process. At Hamlin Bank, they are the bank that takes care of its customers. Visit one of their locations in Smethport, Kane, Mount Jewett, Eldred, Bradford, Olean, New York, St. Mary's, and their newest branch in Sheffield. See them online at hamlinbank.com. Member FDIC.
Well, lightning has struck here to start the second half. The kickoff after the touchdown received at the 15-yard line. And again, that is TJ Singer on the return. Singer gets it back out over the 30. But, Nate, the opening kickoff, St. Mary's gets a turnover. And then here on this first drive of the second half, Brockway gets the turnover. This one results in a touchdown.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. My goodness. Everybody just keeps stepping up on both sides of the ball. It's been a heck of a ball game for St. Mary's. Yeah, it looked like forward progress was stopped, but Brockway played through the whistle there and came up with a return touchdown there. But St. Mary's quickly has the ball back. Let's see if they have an answer for the early score here in the second half.
29-yard line, first down and 10. And under center is Whaler. And they pitch it out left. That's Frankie Smith running with it. Trying to get the corner. He can't get there. Great pursuit. I think that's Winnings. Yeah, that's Winnings. And my. Great pursuit.
Yeah, Winnings is making plays out here like crazy. Ever since kind of the second quarter, he's just really been all over the field and makes another one there. Pretty good outside contain in pursuit of the ball. 2nd and 10 coming up here for this Dutch offense under the 10-minute mark here in the third quarter.
21-20, Brockway leads it. And they go run right. That's Stager, and Stager goes down. Zayden Faith with the big tackle. And it's a loss of 2.
Yeah, just haven't been able to get to the outside here in this second half so far. Brockway's really flowing hard to the football. So 3rd and long coming up here. 3rd and 12 for St. Mary's.
Ball at the 30 or the 27-yard line. And a shotgun snap. They flip it out in the flat. It's caught by Smith, and Frankie is going to be hit right away. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3 and out for the St. Mary's offense.
And Landon Thompson came up with another stop there on the outside for Brockway. So Brockway seemingly giving up nothing there on that set of 3 plays there.
Well, that was Talon Thomas on that reception.
Yeah, their pursuit here in the early going in the third quarter has been pretty exceptional. St. Mary's just not able to block all the flow to the football.
So 4th down. Tyler Sheely in punt formation for the Dutch. Carter Himes deep, and another great kick. This one away from Himes, and it'll hit and roll out of bounds at about the 42, 43-yard line.
So Brockway with the early touchdown here in the third quarter. Got a 3 and out there. They forced, and now short field for them once again. See if the St. Mary's defense can step up. Get some momentum back towards their side.
21-20, the Rovers lead it. And great field position to start this drive. Patton will go from the shotgun. And he's going to call his own number straight ahead. Has some room, and he's across midfield. And it's going to have a first down to the St. Mary's 46-yard line.
Good push up front again from Brockway. Brockway, they don't have a lot of depth on their team overall. Not a lot of depth on the offensive and defensive line, but it hasn't mattered this year. They have some absolute monsters up front, and they continue with what's been a strong showing here in this District 9 championship game.
Patton shotgun. This time they give it to Weir, and Weir breaks a tackle, has some room. Now bounces it outside. And back in, he turns it, and then still on his feet, fighting down to the 25. What a run by Colin Weir.
Wow, oh my goodness. Just bouncing off bodies, breaking tackles. Doing a little Earl Campbell impression, just running people over. That's how you finish a run.
And St. Mary's going to call timeout here to talk this over. We'll take one as well. High school football on the Hound, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
If you're planning on having masonry work done this year, call the pros at Stager Masonry in Ridgeway at 772-7083. Their years of experience will make sure the job's done right. Call Stager Masonry at 772-7083, 772-7083, Stager Masonry in Ridgeway. Schedule your masonry work with the pros. Remember, masonry is no hobby.
When it comes to protecting your home, your car, your family, or your business, why trust someone miles away when the best is right here in Elk County? St. Mary's Insurance Agency, along with Borst Insurance in Ridgeway and the Smith-Keats Agency in Johnsonburg, have been named Elk County's best insurance agency 5 years running. We're not just in the community, we're proud to be part of it. Stop by one of our offices, give us a call, or visit us online at stmariesagency.com.
Back to Mansell Stadium. That was an injury timeout. It was not a St. Mary's timeout. So after that, here's Patton to throw on first down. Has a ton of time. Deep down the right side. Tipped away, incomplete. And great coverage back there by Cody Thompson for St. Mary's.
Yeah, Thompson and Stager there, good coverage. Thompson knocked that away. Pretty good throw by Patton.
He throws a great ball.
Yeah, it was a pretty long throw. But just a little bit better coverage on that.
Threw from the left hash mark all the way over to where the numbers are on the right side of the field. Here's Patton straight ahead. Aiden bounces it outside, has some room, going to have a first down to the 16-yard line.
Patton just kind of willing them down the field, throwing the ball, running the ball.
Right at the 15-yard line. Gain of 11.
Brockway just has the momentum. You can kind of feel it.
Yeah, you can
turnover.
feel the field kind of tipping here. And
absolutely.
St. Mary's needs a big play.
They certainly do. They got to get a stop here. That turnover just really swung the momentum back in the Rovers' favor.
Patton going to hand it to Weir. Weir straight ahead. He gets hit after a couple of yards. Goes down to about, we'll give him about the 11. Patton now 55 yards on 9 carries today. Or I'm sorry, Colin Weir.
Patton out of the shotgun motion, man. And Patton keeps it himself, but great pursuit by the defensive line of St. Mary's. They bring down Patton at about the line of scrimmage.
He'll lose a couple.
So 3rd and 8 ensuing here. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Brockway threatening, though, in the red zone.
21-20, the Rovers lead it. Trips to the right in this formation. Patton's back to throw. He looks left, fires left, and Doherty catches it, but he's out of bounds. Just a little bit too far on that pass, and he could not get to it in time. It'll be 4th down.
Big play ensuing here. Doherty's a great kicker, but I assume, JJ, they're going for this. Obviously, a touchdown could mean a little bit more than a field goal, but we'll see. They can still get the first down as well, so they don't have to go for everything here.
Yeah, they've got to get to it would be about the 5-yard line for that first down.
They are going to kick it,
Doherty,
actually.
yep, they're going to place it down at the 20-yard line. It'll be a 30-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. The kick is on the way, and Doherty nails it. A 3-point push away on a 30-yard field goal. It's the Spitzer scoring play, and it's now Brockway 24, St. Mary's 20 in high school football on the Hound, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Heating and cooling done right, guaranteed. Epic heating and cooling, all day or night when you need. Epic heating and cooling. Epic. Every time we show up for you. Epic. Making your day feel epic, like a superhero. Epic. Heating and cooling experts, tried, trusted, and true. Epic. Every install feels epic, and when the time comes, you'll know. You know you've got our trusted team for the golden heat. Epic heating and cooling, all day or night when you need. Epic heating and cooling done right, guaranteed. Epic heating and cooling.
And we do thank Epic Heating and Cooling for their presentation today. They're allowing us to video stream this game, and we appreciate them. Epic Heating and Cooling of Brockway. So now 24-20 as Brockway takes the 4-point advantage. Here's the kickoff and a lateral back to Frankie Smith. Smith back over the 20, runs into some traffic and gets knocked down at about the 25-yard line. Well, on the plus side there, it was a field goal, Nate, but on the plus side of things, you kept him out of the end zone, you made a stop, and now St. Mary's has a chance to right the ship, so to speak, and pun intended on that. And if they can get something going here, it's just a 4-point game.
Absolutely, yeah. Still a 1-score game, so St. Mary's defense did enough to hold, keep them out of the end zone. And, just 3, but still, St. Mary's has not looked sharp here in the third quarter. They got to get this momentum back, and it starts here with getting a push up front and kind of starting a touchdown drive.
From the 25-yard line, and a mix-up on the snap, and Whaler goes down back at the 14. Yep.
So loss of 1 on that play. A little bit of a mix-up there for St. Mary's. Just haven't been able to get the push up front here in the third quarter that they were getting at points in the first half.
2nd and 11. Clock down to 5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Brockway leads it 24-20. And option run, they pitch it out the field. Field cuts back, and he's got a nice little jaunt. He'll get up to the 34 and be just short of that lead stick by about a yard.
Yeah, good option play there. Andrew Field with one hand, he still catches the option. He's got the club on the one hand, still catches it, runs 10 yards. 3rd and short coming up for the Dutch. Their best offensive play here in this third quarter so far.
The Field now with 13 carries, 78 yards, couple of touchdowns. 3rd and 1. Whaler, handoff. Reverse to Frankie Smith, and Smith going to have a first down. He dives forward to the 40-yard line.
They faked me out on that, JJ. I thought Landon Cook had the football at the fullback spot, but Frankie Smith around the edge.
Yep, and they mark him right at the 40. And a gain of 6. And a first down with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hand off the Field, and right away he goes down. A couple of big black jerseys there, and I'm going to guess 57 was one of them.
Yeah, he came out of there, so he was amongst the
you got it.
The Rovers there. He's just been all over the place. You can tell this means a lot to him. Senior year, you don't want to go out that way.
He's a great kid too.
So picked up 4 there. 2nd and 6 as St. Mary's nears midfield.
Little swing pass out here. It's caught in the flat and then blown up. Talon Thomas didn't even have time to react as Colton Kale was right there to suffocate him at the 42.
Yeah, these Brockway Rovers are just flying to the football here out of halftime. So something sparked something in that locker room. Whatever Coach Heigl and company said to those guys, they're playing pretty inspired football, and they've just been flying all over the place defensively. But St. Mary's 3rd and 8 opportunity here.
Loss of 2 on that play. And we're down under 3 minutes to go now in the third period. Handoff, 2nd man at Field. He gets blown up. 57, Mr. Yale does it again. Loss back to the 41.
Another TFL for Yale. He's just been all over the place. They can't block him seemingly. He's always just through the line of scrimmage into the backfield. And another tackle for loss there. So a punting situation again for St. Mary's.
Himes and Colton Kale go back deep for the Rovers. They'll stand at about their 25. And Tyler Sheely in punt formation from his 30. And, good kick. And it'll be fielded at the 19-yard line. That is by Kale. Penalty flag down, and Kale is down. Back up at about the 29-yard line. Check this penalty out here.
I'm going to try to speculate, but I think it's a block in the back. So that's going to bring that thing a little bit back here for Brockway, I believe.
2 minutes, 1 second. And then you called it there, Mr. Stice.
Yeah, it happened literally right directly down the line for me here at about the 20.
So a 10-yarder. And that'll move it back to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, penalties have really hurt Brockway in this game, no question about it. Probably around 80 yards of penalties, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they've all been really long. Some personal fouls, a few holds, things of that nature. And some of those self-inflicted wounds have kind of really, gone in St. Mary's direction, and see if it does here.
Here's Patton, zips it out here, incomplete behind his intended receiver, and that was Kennedy. It'll be second down and 10. I have him for 5 penalties.
Yeah, it's quite a bit
30,
of yardage.
40, 50, 55.
Yeah, it's getting up there, and some of those most of them have been like really long yardage penalties, 15 and 10 yards pretty much exclusively. So it's really pushed them around, pushed them back, and it pushed them back near their own end zone here.
Minute 59 to go, third quarter. Now here's Patton to throw. He's plenty of time. Sets up, fires downfield, incomplete, in and out of the hands. Looks like that was Carter Himes, the intended receiver.
Well, St. Mary's caught a break there. He was wide open, but
Yes.
Patton just a little bit too high on that pass to Himes. So third and long coming up.
That's 4 straight incompletions for Patton. He's now 9 of 15 on the day. And a big third down coming up here. Here's Patton. He's going to step up now and run it himself. He's got room. He's got a first down. Bounces it outside and is tripped up by Frankie Smith at the 24-yard line.
Just spread it way out, and then you just go quarterback draw, and he had nothing but green grass, made a couple guys miss. Some good blocking by Brockway, and they keep the sticks moving. That's a tough break for St. Mary's. Third and long, it's where you want to have them, and you get them there, and then unfortunately, Patton just runs free for a first down.
That kid is so special that he can do that kind of stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. He just keeps their offense moving.
Penalty flag at the snap. They hand off to Weir, and Weir's going to get a yard, and I think this one's going to be on Brockway, some sort of illegal motion perhaps.
Yeah, legal procedure, legal motion, something of the sort. I believe our speculation is right, so probably going to back Brockway up, making it 1st and 15.
On the plus side, it's not a 10 or a 15, right?
Yeah, but still, it's that self-inflicted stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Legal formation is the official call here.
Oh,
it's declined by Coach Dwork. He's going to take the down.
Okay.
They really didn't give up anything, so I think it's just a second and 10, second and 9. They just kind of inched it. So Dwork's going to say the down's more important than the yardage here.
So credit Colin Weir with no gain on first down. Down to a minute 10 to go, third quarter. 24-20, Brockway leads. District 9, 3A championship. Shotgun snap, Patton back to throw. A lot of time, goes deep downfield. He's got Himes, incomplete, just a little too far. And Himes wanted that when he got a fingertip or 3 on it and just couldn't get any further to pull it in.
Yeah, Patton and Himes, they're close. There's been a couple plays in this game where they've just off by a smidge. Patton had a couple balls sail a little bit, and on that one just sailed it just a little bit too much. Third and long again here for Brockway. St. Mary's got to come up with a stop this time around.
5 straight incompletions now for Patton. He's from the shotgun here. Little flip out. Doherty can't hold on. And it's incomplete, and it's 4th down.
That's one time where you don't look it in. You hear those footsteps. You're thinking about getting that first down to keep it moving. Unfortunately, a drop there for Brockway. And St. Mary's gets off the field. Though it hasn't been the best quarter, they're still here in this ballgame, very much so.
And they got to feel fortunate for that. 50 seconds remain in this third. And Doherty will punt it away. Frankie Smith is going to drop back inside of his 45-yard line, the Elk County Catholic kid. And this punt, a decent one. It gets out and away. They kick it away from Smith. It'll go out of bounds inside the 45 and out at about the 42.
Yeah, I think it's wise to just kick it away from Frankie Smith. Obviously, watching the film, what he's been doing the last month of the season especially, his returns have been spectacular. He had 2 return touchdowns in the first quarter against Bradford a few weeks ago.
Wow.
He was all over the place. He had 3 touchdowns alone in the first quarter against Bradford. So Frankie Smith is just on a hot streak, so I understand why they just elect to take away from him.
Well, that kid's an athlete all the way around, and he's one heck of a basketball player, too.
Yeah, different colors this winter for him,
Yep.
but still an impactful player nonetheless.
Here's shotgun snap. Whaler now going to step up and run it, and he'll get back to right about the line of scrimmage.
That very well could be the last play of this third quarter. Game clock is underneath the play clock, so it very well could be, but St. Mary's is still out there just kind of discussing things, getting their personnel ready.
They're checking over those wristbands, down to 15 seconds on that clock. Now, under center, Whaler pitch out. Here comes Stager on a run left, and Stager goes down for a loss back at the 39-yard line. And that is going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. After 3, the Brockway Rovers lead it 24-20. High school football on the Hound is brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Hey, yo, listen up, fam. The Sons of Little Italy in Elk County is serving the most authentic pizza and heroes around. It's like it's straight from Italy and New York right to your plate. Are you craving that mafia-grade taste? Well, this is the place for you. So get this, they've got differing hours each day. If you want to find out when they're open, do me a favor. Get onto their Facebook page, like them, and then take a peek. Now, they're closed on Sundays and Mondays because, hey, even gangsters need a little breather from what I hear. So, get your hands on the Take and Bake DiCerbo and Enzo pies. They're fresh bread, heroes, and more. You can order now. Go online at thesonsoflittleitaly.com. That's thesonsoflittleitaly.com. Call them up, 814-773-3199. Now, listen, don't wait, Capos. This ain't no chain joint. It's the real deal. Storm in and taste the legacy today. The Sons of Little Italy, 25 Luray Drive in Ridgeway.
Welcome back to Mansell Stadium here in DuBois. J.J. Michaels, Nate Stice as we head for the fourth quarter in a 4-point Brockway lead. Rovers put up 9 points in that third quarter, touchdown and a field goal to take this lead. Final 12 minutes underway. Here is Whaler to throw. Has time now out of the pocket to the left, and he's going to go down. Once that pocket collapsed, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and he goes back to the 30-yard line.
And who else on the pass rush but Maddox Decker, all over the place.
Boy,
last game.
Maddox Decker and Yale today, I mean, just relentless.
Yeah, they were relentless the first time around. You know, like I said earlier, Decker had 5 sacks against them, and he gets, I believe, his first one there, but still impactful, getting a good rush here this afternoon.
So, Tyler Sheely will punt it away, standing at his 18-yard line. And a couple of dangerous receivers deep. There's a great high kick, and it's going to hit and take a little bit of a St. Mary's bounce as everybody clears away for Brockway, and it rolls down to the 23-yard line.
Those moon balls and the bounces Sheely gets on those punts. We've been seeing it all year long.
Yep.
I keep waiting for one not to, just to go back the other. It just seemingly never does.
Yeah.
He really can send that thing.
So, Brockway with the ball once again. 11:01 to go.
If you're Brockway, Patton hasn't really connected on a pass in a while. You might want to see them set something up pretty easy just to get him some rhythm back.
Yeah, at the 23-yard line, first down, and it's straight ahead for Patton and minimal yardage.
Yeah, good surge there on the defensive side from St. Mary's.
Gain of about 3.
It's pretty impressive, the workload Patton has had all season long, running the ball and throwing the ball. I mean, it's crazy, but it's got to be quite exhausting. You and I, we don't quite know about that level of carrying the ball. We know what it's like in the trenches, but carrying the ball, man, I can appreciate that also.
Taking hit after hit after hit.
No question.
He's got 11 carries, 66 yards today, and he's also thrown 17 passes, completed 9 of them. Here's a handoff to the second man through. Colin Weir gets up to the 27-yard line.
That was Andrew Field in there on that tackle. He's had a heck of a, just as good as he has run the ball. He might even be better at the linebacker spot, just always seemingly in the right position. And he's so good in the open field making those tackles. Just a short gain there. 3rd and 6 upcoming for the Rovers.
Clock down to 9:50 to go. Keep an eye on that here now. It's going to start to become a factor. Here's Patton to throw. Patton goes deep downfield. He's got a man. It is caught. That's Kennedy, and he leaves everybody behind. Touchdown, Brockway.
Wow. Patton wasn't hitting much here in the second half, but he hit on that one right over the top, and that's a huge completion for Brockway. 3rd down, they had to have it, and they connect, and they get all of it right there. 30-20 lead, Brockway here. 9:38 left in the fourth quarter.
74-yard touchdown. And the lone catch of the day for Kennedy right now.
The biggest one of the afternoon, up to date.
That's another Spitzer scoring play brought to you by the Spitzer Auto World on the $1 Million Highway, St. Mary's. Their world revolves around you. Now the extra point attempt by Doherty. Good snap, good hold. The kick on the way, and it is good. And now Brockway extends a 31-20 lead with 9:38 to go in the game. High school football on the Hound brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Need a loan? Go to Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. I'll bet you've heard that a few hundred times, but have you actually investigated it? They have a loan for your life. Whether it's an auto loan for a new or used vehicle, a loan for your college student, a home loan, a loan to get a boat, RV, ATV, or snowmobile, or a loan to take that long overdue vacation you need. I think you get the idea. They give out a lot of loans. Not only that, but the rates on those loans are even sweeter. Do you live, work, worship, or attend school in Elk, Cameron, McKean, or Warren County? If so, then you qualify for membership at Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union. See how simple it can be. Visit one of their 7 locations in the area or log on to mlfcu.net. Best of luck to all the athletes competing today from Mountain Laurel Federal Credit Union, where it certainly is good to be a member.
Well, they flirted with danger all day, and this time St. Mary's could not stop the big play. 74 yards. Kennedy on the touchdown reception from Aiden Patton. And Brockway now an 11-point lead. And here comes the kickoff. And it goes up over the hands of Singer into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Well, Nate, you're down 11 now, and you have 9 minutes and 38 seconds to go. The big thing in this second half has been the defensive pressure that Brockway's been able to put on not only the running game, but the passing game. It's been just a nonstop barrage of pressure on both ends.
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever was said, like I said at the halftime break from Brockway, they've just been flying to the football. St. Mary's has to get a push right now, kind of running out of time. Starts on this drive. You can't get it all back at once, but you got to really come up big here with 9:38 left.
First down, shotgun snap. Whaler to throw, sets up a screen, and it's almost intercepted. Zayden Faith comes up and almost makes the play on Thomas. Incomplete.
Yeah, dangerous throw there from Whaler. Lucky that wasn't picked off. Threw off his back foot, and just lucky there. It would have been a red zone turnover. Brock would have been right in business, but lucky to get away with that. You just live to play another down here. 2nd and 10. St. Mary's offense just hasn't been sharp here in the second half, unfortunately.
Well, that's due to a lot of those guys in the black jerseys up front. That front four of Brockway has just been relentless. Here's Field, bounces it outside, and he'll get forward for a gain of about 3.
Yeah, and that was met right at the line of scrimmage, and Field just kept his feet going there, picks up a nice gain. But yeah, they were right in the backfield once again.
And it brings up 3rd and 7 here, 9:12, and a moving clock to go fourth quarter, 31-20 Brockway. Rovers looking for their 2nd straight District 9 3A title. And it's kept by Whaler. Whaler pushes forward up to the 28. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the stick.
Yeah, it was a quick hitter play. Better blocking that time, but just not quite enough. So 4th and short upcoming. And St. Mary's, they got to be able to come up big here and get these 2 yards.
Yeah, it's 4th down.
Keeping that offense on the field.
Right now, this is the game. I mean, this is the biggest play of the game with 8:30 to go. Here we go, 4th down, I formation. Whaler runs a little option, pitches it out the field. Field's going to have the first down and more. Out over the 40 and is twirled down across the 45 out of bounds. Gutsy play, great effort, and the Dutch come up with a big one there.
What's so impressive, too, is obviously such a clutch play to get the first down, but, it's the play before the play to me. He's got one hand. Andrew Field has one hand, and he caught that ball with the club on his hand. I mean, that's just incredible. So he keeps the game within reach here for St. Mary's. If they didn't get that, they're really in trouble. But nonetheless, they pick up a big gainer there on 4th down, and they continue this march down the field.
And now Field over 100 yards on the day. Here's a reverse to Smith. Frankie turns the corner. He's got it. First down inside the Brockway 45-yard line.
And you could see them setting that up. The flow has been so hard to the outside as we're going to have an injured Dutchman here on that play. But, yeah, you could see just kind of a double reverse with the flow. It was definitely open there, and they pick up a first down out of it. But, unfortunately, someone for St. Mary's is injured off that play.
And they'll mark it at the 45-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 11 for Frankie. And they'll be...
They actually gave him short of the first down.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, I think that was a generous spot for Brockway's end. I'm surprised. We thought that he got enough for the first down.
I thought so, too.
But nonetheless here, 2nd and short upcoming here.
Yeah, they do it to the 45. Okay. The line of scrimmage was the 46 of St. Mary's on that previous play. So now they'll scoot it down to the 45. And the injured Dutchman is Frankie Smith, and that's not good for the Dutch side the rest of the way here.
That hurts. And
it
that's
does.
The guy that gets 9 yards. He had a huge touchdown at the end of the first half. Really got things going on that touchdown drive, the last one that they had. He's just so lethal out there on the edges, and it's tough to see him go down. Hopefully he'll be okay, but it took a little bit of time to get up there. That was tough to see.
Well, now Gilmore is going to come split out here to the left.
Jimmy, what's his deal? Yeah, what's his deal?
And they wind the clock. 2nd down and 1 now from the Brockway 45-yard line. Whaler under center.
What's his issue?
And they hand off straight ahead, and that's a big run and a first down. A nice little spin-off there by Bruno Steger as he gets down to the Brockway 37.
I was actually Landon Cook on that run there.
Oh, was
out
it?
of the fullback spot. Yeah, we haven't had his number called too much out of the fullback spot, but
20 and 28 look the same.
Yeah, he had a pretty solid run there. Picks up the first down.
He gets down to the 37.
He's certainly a great linebacker as well. Hasn't had the carries quite as much as the season's winded down, but he's someone that just opens those holes for Field and Steger and company back there.
Well, they go to him again, and this time he dives down to the 35. Gain of a couple there.
Yeah, 2nd and 8 coming up. 7 minutes here in the 4th quarter. D9 3A championship game.
It has been a good one, and you are listening to coverage on WDDH St. Mary's 97.5 The Hound on radio and online at houndcountry.com and video streaming on our YouTube page. Here's Whaler, and Whaler, and Whaler dives forward down to the 32.
You can see what they're doing there. That kind of that misdirection. The flow from Brockway on the defense has been so lethal and so hard down that they're trying to get people going the opposite way to open up stuff underneath, and that's what they did there on the quarterback keeper by Whaler.
Now they go Field, and Field right away is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. He might get a yard. Actually, he's going to give him 2.
4th and 2. So they gave him, I think, 3 yards on that.
Yeah, they gave him 3.
Yeah, so 4th and 2 coming up. Big
Clock.
play here in this game.
It is, with under 6 minutes to go now. The clock is the enemy of the St. Mary's Flying Dutchman. 4th down and 2. Here's Whaler to throw. Flips down the middle of the field. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown. Cody Thompson.
Wow. Cody Thompson, you know, he's certainly capable. We haven't heard his name called offensively too much this season. But Cody Thompson, if there's ever a time to step up, he just did it. What a play.
29-yard touchdown pass.
And Brody Whaler, what a throw. You know, staying locked in.
Wow.
St. Mary's going to go for 2 to try to make this a 3-point game. High formation here.
The hand off, and don't think he got there. Nope, no good.
Yeah.
So they run denied, but it's now a one-score game. Brockway 31, St. Mary's 26. High school football on the Hound brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Lindbergh Furniture, that's the star.
Where you'll find bargains galore.
Bob and Bonnie will save you cash.
And deliver your furniture in a flash.
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh Furniture wants to congratulate the teams playing in tonight's game. Congratulations on all you've achieved this year. They're proud of you and your success. You're a fine example of our area youth.
Do you suffer from uncomfortable varicose veins? Are your legs restless, swollen, or sore? Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway, along with experienced vascular surgeon and St. Mary's native, Dr. Philip Georgievich, will be offering a free vein screening on Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Stop struggling with sore and swollen varicose veins. We will see you Monday, November 3rd from 4 to 6 at Athena Laser Clinic in Ridgeway. No appointment necessary.
Hang on, we got a big finish ahead of us here. What a gutsy call on 4th down and 2, Nate, as they go for the goal, and they get it. The big touchdown pass, 29 yards from Whaler to Cody Thompson.
Wow. Just a gutsy play call. Hadn't been, you know, throwing the ball too much here in the second half, but if there was ever a time to do it, it's St. Mary's ball.
Who's got it?
It's St. Mary's got it.
They got it. They recover the onside. Little blooper. Brockway can't get there to cover it, and now the Dutch have it.
Oh, my goodness.
What a play.
The blue kick into no man's land over there, and they race down, and we've been saying it week after week, Mark Martinez and I, normally on B94, but their kick coverage again just comes up huge. Didn't need to tackle them. They just went down and got the football, and they are in business. Oh, my goodness. If there was ever a time to make some plays, that was it. Wow.
Down at the Brockway 22-yard line. How about this for a momentum switch?
Wow, what a chess match this has been. That's,
oh, man.
Talking to both coaches, they knew it would be. They said this is certainly a chess match sort of game, back and forth, 2 evenly matched teams. But St. Mary's with the momentum right now.
Cook in the backfield along with, well, they give it to Cook on 1st down, and he gets dropped. He's lucky if he got back to the line. Field was in the backfield with him there.
Yeah, going to lose.
And he's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, lost a yard there. 2nd and 11, but 4 down territory, no doubt, for St. Mary's. So got an extra down to really work with.
You know, Frankie Smith limped out with an injury earlier. He's down to the sideline now, trying to work that off. He's not in the game at the moment. Talon Thomas is split out to the left, backs in the I formation. There's a handoff Field, and Field plows ahead inside to the 20, down to the 19 or so.
So gain of, I think, 4 on that.
Yep, and it'll bring up 3rd and 7 down to the 17-yard line.
So
I'm sorry, the 19.
3rd and 7 from the 19. Yeah, 4:30 left here in this 4th quarter. St. Mary's in the red zone now.
Under center Whaler, they give it to Field again, and he's straight ahead. Field fighting for yardage, and he's going to be real close to that lead stick, and I think he's got it. First down.
Yeah, there goes the chain gang down the field. That was a huge third down run there. Andrew Field just does like he does so well, just keeps those legs churning, pushing for every inch, every yard. And St. Mary's now,
they're down at the
10-yard line.
10-yard line.
So first and goal here, that's tough because now you don't get the extra first down at the end. You got to go for the end zone now. 4 plays to do it.
First and goal for the Dutch. Play fake under pressure in that play. There was some confusion on that as Whaler gets blown up in the backfield. And he goes back to the 12.
Yeah, just a little bit of a miscommunication there. Whaler just stays aware, though, and says, all right, we got to take our losses here on first down, and just dives forward to kind of preserve things despite the miscommunication. So lost 2 yards there. Second and goal from the 12-yard line. 3:20 left in this fourth quarter.
I formation, second down and goal at the 12-yard line. They pitch out Field. He gets ahead of steam built up, tries for the corner, gets inside, and he'll be pushed out of bounds and down to about the 7 or so.
So better second down play there for sure.
He gets to the 8 is where they mark him. Gain of 4. 118 yards now for Field on the day. And it'll be third and goal. Backs again in the I. Field is the tailback. He dots that I formation. Here's a roll right for Whaler to the end zone. Knocked away. What a defensive play. Oh, my. Colton Kale knocks that away, and that, my friend, is what you call a monster play.
Yeah, fitting for Halloween to call it a monster play too, JJ, no doubt. Just tips it away. You can see that opening. Kale scrambles and just bats that thing down. Huge play coming up here, and St. Mary's is going to elect to talk about it before they decide on what they're going to call.
And we'll take a break. We'll be back. High school football on the Hound, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
When you want a hometown feel with plenty of options, you choose Spitzer Auto World St. Mary's, where the service is fun, fast, easy, and now backed by the Spitzer Shield. When you choose us, you choose a variety of brand new vehicles across 3 separate lots. When you choose us, you choose to know everything we've done to make our pre-owned vehicles second to none. A rigorous inspection process performed by factory-trained technicians and professional detail inside and out. Visit us along the $1 Million Highway today for all of your Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford needs. Spitzer Auto World St. Mary's, our world revolves around you.
Top of the line builders, the area's leader in quality roofing projects, now adds seamless gutter installation to our services. At Top of the line builders, our staff is trained to offer professional installation. For more information and a no-obligation quote on seamless gutters, call Nick Cherry at 814-965-5785. We offer free estimates and are fully insured. Top of the line builders. Get your project done right the first time.
2 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game. This is the big one. 4th down and goal from the 8-yard line for the Dutch. Whaler is under center, back to throw. Has time, now the pocket collapses, looking for help, and he goes down back at the 25. The pressure from Xavier Schwentner. And that's the first time we've called his name today, but he comes up at a big time and makes a big play.
No better time to have your name called than right now. You had to have it, and they got it. St. Mary's just couldn't hold up in pass protection. Whaler couldn't find anybody who was open, unfortunately, but 2:35 left. St. Mary's still has a chance, but they really got to come up with a stop very quickly.
Two timeouts.
There's ever time to force a turnover again.
Oh,
That's
yep.
right now for
It
St.
is
Mary's.
Right now, yep. And the Dutch have done well defensively in the second half. The one mistake was that long touchdown pass, 74 yards. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go. And on first down, we've got whistles flying, flags flying. Looks like a procedure penalty. Well, there's a good start to the drive for St. Mary's. Getting that penalty, it's going to make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, another one of those self-inflicted wounds for Brockway that they've had. You know, kind of highly penalized on that side. That's kind of St. Mary's kind of have an open door here back into this ball game, no question. They've capitalized on a lot of those Brockway long penalties. And that backs them up there to the 20-yard line.
Well, Patton will be in the shotgun. Colin Weir is the sidecar next to him. And Patton's going to call his own number straight ahead, and he goes right into some white jerseys. Not a whole lot there.
Field and Cook, the middle linebackers, flowing so hard, you know, filling their gaps incredibly well.
St. Mary's uses their second timeout, as the ball will be up at the 22-yard line. Gain of 2 on that last play. And Patton 68 yards on the day. And it'll bring up a second down. Now, time-wise, 2:29 left to go here. Let's say St. Mary's gets a stop here, timeout. And then on third down, they wouldn't have the ability to stop it, so you're looking at running 40 seconds-ish off the clock after that. So these next 2 plays, humongous on the Dutch defense. They've got to come up with a stop.
Absolutely, yeah. Just
a first down and the game's over.
Yeah, seemingly is, barring something crazy. So, yeah, if there's ever a time that somebody for St. Mary's or just the whole gang needs to make a play, the whole ship rather than, you know, it's a better term than the whole gang. It's now, though. You have to make this play. You can't give up a second and long play or third and long play, no doubt.
Do I dare use all hands on deck?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Back to throw Patton. They're going to set up and go deep, and it is almost intercepted. Oh, my. He was trying to get it to Carter Himes. And, oh, man, back there was, looks like Mike Miller in the secondary, and I got to think he's in there for Frankie Smith.
Yeah, a little bit different look for Mikey Miller, but Mikey Miller's had a really good defensive season for St. Mary's. I think he led them in tackling last week. I think he had over 13 tackles on that side.
Well, now it is third down, and you don't use your timeout there, and that is the best possible scenario for the Dutch.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll see what Brockway dials up on this one. They just elect to maybe run it, and no, they don't. They go right back to the pass.
Back to throw Patton, now under pressure. Oh, he gets away from it, flips it downfield, got a man. It is Kennedy, and a first down, and that's your ball game.
Yeah, barring anything crazy, that seemingly is.
And we've got a penalty flag down in the backfield, and I think that's going to be on the Dutch for roughing the passer. Or, wait a minute. Hold on.
We'll see.
It was thrown by the referee, so it's either that or holding.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, it's on Brockway.
Man. Wow. Oh, man.
It was a chop block.
Wow, what a
play. My!
Oh, my goodness. Again, another penalty for Brockway. Leaves the door open for St. Mary's once again. Oh, man. Tough break for Brockway. Huge play for St. Mary's. They gave it up, but it didn't matter. Oh, man.
So it's going to be now third down and
25.
25 from the 10-yard line. Shotgun snap coming here. Patton standing at his 4-yard line. He's got it, and he's going to run it straight ahead, and he's just looking for some yardage. He gets up to about the 17, and St. Mary's will call their final timeout.
So 1:40 left here. St. Mary's season still very much alive after that chop block penalty. Wow, we thought it was the ball game But a little laundry on the field tells us not so fast, guys. And St. Mary's here, you know, they don't have much time. They went to Frankie Smith quite a bit at the end of the second quarter. But now with Frankie Smith kind of banged up, we'll see who's going to be their go-to man on the outside and to get out of bounds.
Wow, wow, wow. This game, just when you think it's over, just when you think there's something that you know for sure, it just spins right around on you. Now 1 minute, 40 seconds remain, 31-26 Brockway.
Man, just play after play. This has been such an exciting call here with the JJ. All that you asked for in a championship game.
And I think it made up for what we had last night, don't you think?
Yeah, it certainly
man,
has.
Rough.
Yeah, it was rough on all accounts. You know, there was just blowouts across District 9, unfortunately, you know.
So, here we go. 4th down. They're going to have to punt it away. You heard it right from the coaches. Here comes a punt return, right?
Yeah, we'll see if they kick it out of bounds. They've been doing that.
And Bruno Steger is going to go back deep. He's standing at the 49, and Doherty will kick it from his 4. St. Mary's now out of timeouts.
Wonder if they'll bring the house here or if they'll just elect to really set up that return.
And he gets the punt away, and it's away from the return. Steger comes over to get it at the 45. Midfield, back to the 45 now. Shifts to the 40-yard line. Inside the 35, and is out of bounds. And with 1 minute, 27 seconds to go, the Dutch are inside the Brockway 35.
Wow, you couldn't ask for much more there. Pretty good blocking, good moves there by Steger. Uses the sideline. Ball is on the 30-yard line. So no timeouts, but plenty of time. They got the sideline. They got the stoppages on first downs. We'll see what they can do here. Could be some of the last plays of the ball game.
Here's a shotgun snap. Whaler has time. Now the pocket collapses. Steps up, fires, got him in. Out of bounds, down around the 20, and that's Frankie Smith.
Wow, crazy to see Frankie Smith in there. Oh, my gosh. Just gutting it out. That's just stepping up for your brothers there, man. I love that. As much as I hate to see him battling through pain, I just love just laying it on the line. You got to love that.
Gain of 9. 2nd down and 1. Minute 22 now on the clock. Whaler rolls to the right. Looks, fires downfield, incomplete. He was trying to get it down to Thompson, and Thompson was just a little bit behind the pass.
Yeah, that seam has been open all game for St. Mary's in the passing attack. They went over the top to Frankie Smith. They went over the top to Thompson. Not surprised to see them take a shot deep there, right down the middle of the field. He was open, just couldn't get to him. Thompson again. But 3rd and short yardage. No surprise taking a shot on 2nd down there.
Yep. 3rd down and 1. Shotgun for Whaler. He's got it. Rolling to the right. Looking. Firing downfield. And it is picked off. Down inside the 20. And that's Colin Weir on the pick. And that, my friends, is your ball game.
It's just tough to see that. Tough to see that. 3rd and short yardage, I thought a run was coming for sure.
And now the Rovers will just fall on it a couple times, and it'll be another trophy for Brockway football.
And barring anything crazy here, Brockway going back-to-back for the first time in over 20 years.
Yeah, man, what a game. What an effort. This was so much like the first meeting this year between these two teams. And Patton will fall on it. And the celebration starts on the home side of this field. That's where Brockway is. They're the higher seed. And it will extend all the way down Route 219 this evening and likely later tonight, as the Rovers will take home their 2nd straight District 9 3A championship. One more fall on it will do it, and that will end it. to the knee, and congratulations to the Brockway Rovers, District 9 3A champs for the second year in a row.
What a heck of a ball game.
What an unbelievable ball game.
That was just, what an effort from both teams. They all just laid it on the line there. They battled their hearts out, and man, what a privilege to be able to call this game with you, JJ, and just see these young men fight for the victory out here.
And they get it. The celebration on the sideline as the Rovers win it 31-26. We'll take a break and be back with the postgame show on our player of the game right after this. High school football on the How, brought to you by St. Mary's Insurance.
Wouldn't it be great if you could have your insurances for auto, home, business, farm, life, and retirement in just one agency? That's what Pacelli Insurance is for. They can help protect what is important for you and your family's future. Visit Pacelli Insurance in St. Mary's or call them at 814-781-3888. Pacelli Insurance, your preferred local independent insurance agency. Pacelli Insurance, where we protect your world.
Have you been looking for a career in the powdered metal industry? Medco Industries is now hiring. Medco Industries on Brussels Street in St. Mary's is a locally owned company offering long-term steady careers or part-time work with advancement opportunities and great benefits. Operations are regular 8-hour shifts with most weekends off. Medco's machining facility, Pro Process LLC, offers CNC operator and setup positions in a climate-controlled facility. Apply online at medcopm.com. Medco Industries, locally owned and operated in St. Mary's for over 40 years.
When is the last time you really felt like your body was functioning properly? If you can't remember, then it's time for you to call Rowley Family Chiropractic of St. Mary's. They've been serving the community for 25 years. Their mission is to improve your overall quality of life by allowing your nervous system to work at its fullest potential. Want to know more? Log on RowleyFamilyChiropractic.com or call 814-834-1045. Rowley Family Chiropractic, improving health one spine at a time. Zook Motors in Kane is a proud supporter of the area's high school sports teams. They know what it means to be part of a community. Family owned and operated, they've been serving the area for almost 100 years. That's why you can trust Zooks to find you the right vehicle for your needs and price range. Best of luck to the players and coaches in today's matchup from everyone on the team at Zook Motors, your area Ford dealer just west of Kane on Route 6.
With 2 locations on Baker Alley in Ridgeway and Route 219 in Johnsonburg, Elk County Foods' friendly staff is ready to serve you. They offer daily and weekly specials, including their 5 for $24.99 in the meat department. Check out their large hot and cold deli, the freshest of fresh produce, and their own homemade beef sticks and smoked cheese. Having a get-together? Let Elk County Foods do the work for you. Elk County Foods of Ridgeway and Johnsonburg, hometown proud. Check us out on Facebook or visit us online.
For nearly 40 years, one name in the area stands out when it comes to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and more.
Hi, this is Shirley from Newell's Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning. We have been providing plumbing and HVAC services in St. Mary's since 1984. Our customers are our #1 priority, and we are quick to answer or return calls, especially in emergency situations. From initial estimates through the project completion, we will work with you to ensure you're 100% satisfied. Our team of technicians has a combined 88 years of experience, so we have knowledge on our side for any job. We are professional, fair, family-friendly, and work with you to understand your needs and goals. From residential to light commercial, we can ensure your plumbing and HVAC systems are running at peak performance.
For all your plumbing and heating needs, put your trust in us. Newell's Plumbing and Heating's Trout Run Road, St. Mary's.
Welcome back to E.J. Mansell Stadium here in Du Bois as the Brock Rovers celebrate their second straight District 9 3A championship with an unbelievable game, unbelievable effort by both teams as they win it 31-26 over the St. Mary's Flying Dutchman here today. Welcome back into the press box. J.J. Michaels, Nate Stice, and our post-game show. And the team's going to be getting their medals here today. But, boy, Nate, I think I'm going to work with you more often if we're going to have games like this. How does that sound?
Yeah, one chance and one heck of a ball game. Holy smokes. This is crazy what we just saw here. I mean, anything you want in a championship game, this definitely had it. It had turnovers and penalties, people cashing in, big plays, small plays, gutsy effort. Man, what a heck of a ball game here over Du Bois.
It sure was, and it was just everything. Just when you thought you knew what was going to happen in this game, it completely went the opposite way. And credit the Dutch. The Dutch were down 31-20 at one point in this second half, and it looked like Brockway had all the momentum going. And then they hit the big plays. The big plays on defense, the big stop, the big interception there in that last drive by Colin Weir. It was just an amazing, amazing effort by both sides. And it's tough. You can see the disappointment on the Dutch faces right now. But those kids have nothing to hang their heads about.
Not at all. And the thing is, I had them week over week. I had 2 week stretch where I didn't see them, but I pretty much had them almost exclusively this season. And the improvements that they made, man, it's just unbelievable to see how, Whaler improved at the quarterback spot. Their offensive line, they were so much better from week 1 to now in terms of the pass protection. It was great to see people like Bruno Steger, get another year older and wiser and experienced running the football. And, also their skill guys, they've really stepped up. Talon Thomas has had some really good games here. Frankie Smith, Matthew Gilmore as well. Oh, they left it all out there. Just a tough way to end it, absolutely. Just ended on a turnover. It was fitting for this game, but, oh, man, the scoreboard doesn't indicate how much they've grown this season.
But it doesn't. And, to come in here today and play like this, just a great effort all around against a very good Brockway team. The Rovers came in here, obviously the favorite in this game, but I don't think it was too much of a favorite, just judging on, how things have gone this season for them. But big day. Big plays, that does it for you, and that's the reason why that they're going to get the gold medal placed around their neck here very, very shortly. We have a duty to do. It is time for our Player of the Game, brought to you by Rowley Family Chiropractic of St. Mary's on the $1 Million Highway, where your health and well-being come first. Let their MVPs get you back into the game with top-notch care today. Call them at 814-834-1045 or go online, RowleyFamilyChiropractic.com. Well, Nate, we could pick any number of skilled people that had the day. We could pick, obviously, Aiden Patton had a great day. He was, 10 of 19 for 144 yards, and the big touchdown there to Kennedy, 74 yards. Patton also had 73 yards on 15 carries. But none of that happens without some beef up front. And there's one guy in particular who was all over the field today, not only blocking, but playing defense, and we called his name. And when you suggested that, I thought, you know what? I think that's a great, great effort. Go ahead and reveal our player of the game.
Yeah, it's none other than Ben Yale. Ben Yale, the linemen don't always get the love that they deserve, but the linemen are the heart and soul of any good football team, or they're the heart and soul of any bad football team. They really dictate what you're going to do as a team, and Ben Yale dictated this entire game. Tackles for loss, pressure on the quarterback, setting up Patton, running the ball, pass protection for Patton for, several key completions throughout the game, including the big touchdown to Kennedy there. So it's Ben Yale for me, and I there's no objection if you pick Patton. Certainly he's, their best skill position player all around. Ben Yale, he just sets the stage for Brockway, and he's really been doing that all season long, and honestly all his career. He's a 3-time All-State, 3-time All-District player, and there's a reason for that. This kid is incredible. He can play center, he can play guard offensively, and he's done that throughout his career. And he came up big in the biggest moment of his career, winning a district title in his senior season.
Well, and I've seen him in 2 games, and he has just been, he's everything you want a lineman to be on both sides of the ball. And Coach Heigl's got a good one with him. And he is obviously a senior this year, and he's got at least one more game that he's going to play coming up in the next 2 weeks here. Man, what an effort here today. And, St. Mary's couldn't figure him out. It's neat. We sit next to the coaches, and a lot of times we heard today, we got to figure out how to get 57 out of there. We got to figure out, do this. There's a reason for that. The kid is so good. And he was one of the big reasons why he was the Brockway won this one today, and we thought it fitting to recognize that with our player of the game. So congratulations to Ben Yale in that one. On the St. Mary's side of things, it was a great day for Andrew Field. He had 21 carries for 122 yards, a couple of touchdowns. The kid amazed me with not only the club on his hand, but how he was able to perform. He's such a talented kid.
He certainly is. Being really banged up and battered throughout this season. Andrew Field, at times he would go off for a play, get the ankle taped and things of that nature throughout the season. Learning how to play running back with the club, obviously is no easy task, but he's worked on it big time, and he was ready to play even on option plays. Obviously didn't put him out for passing like they have in the past, but still to catch it off an option is so impressive. And he played his heart out. I think that's 2 straight District 9 championship games. He's had over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So he's leaving it all out on the field. And it's tough to see him, play his last football game here for the St. Mary's Dutchman amongst many other seniors that they've had.
Yeah, and it's been a great ride for them. You think of Frankie Smith. He's year 2 of that co-op with Elk County Catholic now, and he made a big contribution this year. You think of guys along the line, Landon Cook, another senior who's going to graduate, who's been just a great thing to center around on that team. A lot of skill people coming back for the Dutch. Brody Whaler, most notably, at quarterback next year. They're going to have Talon Thomas back. They're also going to have Matthew Gilmore back next year, and some other guys. And I got to be honest with you. They're going to miss Andrew Field, but when you've got somebody like Bruno Steger that's coming up in the ranks, that's not a bad guy to have step into those shoes next year.
Not at all. Absolutely not. And, I think he adds a little bit of something different with his flair. He's not a between-the-tackle runner quite like Andrew Field is. He's capable of doing that, but he's somebody that I could really see throughout his career kind of being a scat guy, obviously around the edge, slot receiver, out routes, quick slants, stuff like that, just getting him the ball in any way possible. So, we'll see. Maybe they might tweak their offense next year, depending on, based off of personnel, we might see that. It's just a little bit different coming back. You also lose guys like Overly, who's a fantastic tackle for them on offense, who doesn't get the love that he deserves around the district, no question about it. They're going to miss him blocking up front. But, yeah, there's still a lot of core guys coming back for St. Mary's next year.
Yep, as you see on the screen there, if you're watching on YouTube, the Rovers getting their team trophy and getting their picture taken. Congratulations to Coach Heigl and his crew. They played a whale of a ball game today and made the plays when they needed to. And they're going to be moving on into the sub-regional, and that will be determined soon. They'll have information out about that. But with this today, this concludes our fall broadcast season here with Laurel Media, and it has been a great one. And we want to thank all of our sponsors that are a part of our ride this year. St. Mary's Insurance and Affiliates, our title sponsor all year long. You've heard us every time we go to commercial break. We can't thank them enough. Lindbergh Furniture, of course, pregame show. Bell's Meat and Poultry, kind of sad I won't be getting some bells next week. But if we had to go out with chili last night like this, I'm okay with that. And, of course, Rowley Family Chiropractic, our player of the game. And we do want to thank, again, Epic Heating and Cooling in Brockway for their sponsorship. They're the ones that footed the bill for us to be able to stream our games this weekend. So thanks to Epic Heating and Cooling, and do search them out online if you have some plumbing and heating needs. I got to tell you, they do work for us at the station. They're pretty good. And when I say pretty good, I mean they're awesome. So do yourself a favor and get involved with that. But Nate, thank you, man, for coming on the team this year. You and Mark had a great run together, and it was a pleasure to call the game with you today. And you want to stick around for some hoops?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Truly, basketball has been my longtime favorite sport. I really love football as well and baseball, but yeah, basketball is just such a special time of year, and I'm looking forward to, calling some hoops from December through hopefully into March.
Yeah, that would be nice, and it's hard to believe it, but guess what? 2 weeks, practice starts.
I know. Quick turnaround for these kids, no doubt.
It is, and especially these kids that have played for a while here. We'll have our first broadcast. Will be about a month from now into the month of December. And in the meantime, if you have any interest in being a part of this, as I was looking online, we've had thousands of people tune in for our streams. We are going to be streaming basketball this winter. So if you're a business owner and you'd like to be a part of this, we have some great packages that you can call our business office, and we will get you all hooked up, man, with everything that you need to be a part of it into the winter sports season. So please do contact us for that. But that will wrap it up for us here today. And big thanks, of course, to our good friend and our compadre, Mark Martinez, who he's down in Pittsburgh today at the Pitt game, I believe. I don't know why, but okay, I got no room to talk. Penn State got crushed today. So I can't really talk about that.
Well, he's enjoying the game with some friends. He's not out in California. The game's in California.
He's down there enjoying it there.
Yes, absolutely.
I should specify about that. And then my good buddy Rick Porter, who we've done this together for so many years now, both in football and in the basketball field or basketball court as well. And Rick was unable to be here this weekend. He had some plans to be out of town, so that's why he's not here this weekend. But he's raring to go for hoops, and we're looking forward to that starting up. So keep watching, and we will have a schedule prepared soon, and we will let you know when we start that up, as it's going to be here before you know it. But that will conclude our broadcast today. Thanks again to all of our sponsors, for Mark Martinez and Rick Porter and Mr. Nate Stice, and all of us at Laurel Media Sports. Thank you so much for being a part of our fall football broadcast this year. I'm J.J. Michaels. God bless. Have a great weekend, everyone, and take care.